Yeah.
That was totally in sync. That's really off-putting.
Fred Durst. I wish him nothing.
Stop.
I wish him nothing but bad times, bro.
Before we started recording, we were talking shit about Puddle of Mud because they've never written a good song aside from Blurry, and it's very noticeable. But then we got to remembering, like, apparently, I mean, Derek pointed this out. I didn't realize Fred Durst found this band.
Yeah.
So he's to blame.
Everything.
I guess
everything that's gone wrong is Fred Durst's fault.
I will say, I'm pretty sure Fred Durst is also responsible in a good way, because I'm a fan of Korn. I think he was the one that discovered their mixtape or something like that, and gave them connections.
Oh, really?
And then, yeah, I think he was also responsible for having them get their start. But like, even without them, I feel like they would have blown up eventually because it was so different than anything that was kind of going on.
Yeah, somebody would have found it. Somebody else would have found it at the very least. But it is so funny to me that, like, Fred Durst is responsible for that. Fred Durst does so many weird... Like, I mean, I guess tangentially he's responsible because that Puddle of Mud song, that fucking she fucking hates me. That song was like really viral. That song went like viral early, like in early internet, like 2003, 2004, because I remember made this like Flash animation about, and it was like a parody. It was like a really old, like it was like one of the first internet parodies that I've ever seen. It was like, she freaking blocked me. And it was a guy talking about like getting blocked on AIM or whatever the fuck, which is like insane.
Wow.
Insanely dated by today's concept.
AIM? Oh my God, I forgot about AIM. Holy shit.
I remember talking to random. You were accidentally talking to pedophiles on AIM?
Never. I never used it.
Oh, okay.
I didn't use.
You never used AIM?
Nah, I only used. My first social media was Facebook.
What? Really? That's insane.
You skipped MySpace?
Nope.
So, I mean, I skipped MySpace too, but like,
oh, man.
I made a MySpace, and then I remember being like, I can't do anything with this because like it wasn't like now where you can.
What year was that?
It was like 2005 or 2006, maybe. I think it was like one of those years.
I think that was prime for like when that shit when you like we all learned a little bit of HTML code. I feel like that was the time when we.
Yeah, except like I don't know. I think it was the timing and the technology was just not right for social media for me because I remember because now it's like, oh, you can take a photo of yourself on your phone and then make it your profile picture in maybe like 10 seconds. But back then it was like, okay, I got to have an actual camera. I have to take a picture and then I have to plug it into my computer with like a USB, and then it's going to take like hours to like download this photo, and then I got to upload it with my slow ass internet. Just so people, like, I remember my first MySpace was literally just, I didn't have any photos of me on my computer because at the time I was like, why would I? I had no use for that. And I just uploaded a photo of like an Xbox 360 and then I logged out and never used it again. So like, I didn't really understand the purpose of it. But I had like AIM and like specifically MSN Messenger I used.
I didn't have AIM. I didn't have MSN Messenger. I didn't have, I had Uvu, but that's only.
Oh, I remember. My God.
Isn't that like
wow?
I had old Skype, but I rarely used it anyway.
Dude, you just blew my fucking head open. Uvu is such a
that is like that's what even is that?
So it was a video.
It's FaceTime on a computer before everyone used it. It was like ghetto Skype.
It was ghetto. It was ghetto Skype. It was free. I think there was like ads. I'm not super sure, but like it was. That's crazy because I remember my first girlfriend in college. We would talk to each other on Uvu, and I remember that gold logo. That with like the golden text, and I was like, "Oh my God, that is." I haven't thought about that in fucking ages. That's like, do you guys remember On Live?
No,
of course you don't. So On Live was game streaming as we know it now, like how like PlayStation Now you can stream games, but this was in like 2011, and the infrastructure was just not. It still isn't really there for it, but it was definitely not there in 2011. It was ahead of, it was just an example of like you were just too
ambitious.
You were too early. It's like Microsoft when they put out the first tablet computer in like the late 90s, early 2000s, and everybody was like, we don't even have affordable laptops yet. Like, what the fuck are you bringing out? Like, what are you bringing out of fucking
I don't have a cell phone
tablet?
Yet. I don't have a cell.
Yeah, my phone still can't do anything. Like, what are you
I can
doing?
play Snake on my phone. That's it.
Do you remember playing those like phone games on like? Do you remember when flip phones didn't have backlights?
No, wait.
Not really.
I remember the Boost Mobile.
My dad had a Samsung flip phone with no backlight. I'm talking original Game Boy style screen where it was just black pixels.
Remember when,
on a screen that you had to see in sunlight or light.
Chris, when they were
wild.
green, when the back of the remember when backlights first came out and they were all
green,
and then the Game Boy made the first white backlight and we were like, they can be white. Remember the SP when it came out and it had fucking a backlight and everybody was like, I know I have an Advance that plays the same games, but I need an SP.
It's crazy.
We all switched over, bro. We all switched over because I had that stupid little attachment that put a
light,
little
bendy light.
Yeah.
My homie had that. I remember the first time I got a Game Boy, right? First time I had a Game Boy ever. First time I ever had one, right? I remember being like, well, Grandma, I'm going to go to bed. It's late. Lying my ass off to her that I'm going to go to bed and go to sleep. And then she walks in. I'm in my fucking room giggling, playing like Pokemon, laughing my ass off, so happy. And she was like, what the fuck are you doing? Go to bed. And I was like, how am I going to be able to see the game without her knowing I'm awake? And it was just a conundrum for like an hour. And I eventually, like, dude, that backlight. I remember it came out when I was like, it's like 2004. The backlight.
2003. It was 2003 for the SP, I believe.
I remember being 4, but I could totally be off. I don't remember exactly. And
you might have gotten it in 04.
I think I might have gotten mine in 04. Maybe.
And the Game Boy Advance SP, February 14th, 2003.
Dude, I remember being like, I gotta get this. Like, I remember I saw my first one. There was the black one, there was the red one, there was the silver one, there was the blue one. I remember all of them, and I was like, I gotta get this.
Oh wait, you might be. Hold on, you might be right, because that was the Japanese.
Oh, I remember when that was a thing. Different release dates for shit.
Japan.
Yeah, Japan got it first.
Of course they always do.
I mean, it's there.
But wait,
it's there.
when did? Okay, hold on. Let me
calm down. Like that's just an underhand joke you got, but it's just theirs. They got it first.
North America. When the fuck? Oh, so March. Oh, so not that much later.
March of the same year.
March of the same year.
A month later.
Yeah, a couple months later. I think. Yeah, like 1 month later and a couple days. But fucking that backlight was enough of a reason for us to buy a new machine. Because it made
absolutely.
Because it really did make that much of a difference.
You could play it any time at that moment. You're like,
that was revolutionary.
Dude, I remember going on long trips, like long road trips with my parents, or not even like road trips, but like we would go to like Long Island or like go upstate when we lived in Yonkers, and it would be like we would go home late at night when the sun was down, and I remember playing Game Boy, and I had to like wait for street lights to like pass by so I could see what was happening. It would be long stretches of darkness for like 3 seconds of gameplay, and then I would wait.
It'd be like
and wait. So sad. So that backlight was like fucking a savior.
I feel bad about Sega though, because Sega always had the best shit, and nobody fucking bought it.
Always too early. They were always too. They are patient zero for that shit. Like because the Dreamcast was like the first to do so many fucking different things. Like they had like that was the first one to have, I think, an Ethernet port in it. That was the first. I'm not sure if they're the first one to have a hard drive. I think that might have been still the Xbox, but
I think
like
it was Xbox regular, the first one.
But that is fucking nutty. That they, like even just like the controller with the screen on it, which is like now like
the Switch.
Now that's all this. That's what the Switch is. You know?
Now that's just the Nintendo Switch is that console.
It's Dude, nutty.
They're fucking there's their hardware, which was like, oh, finally we can have arcade quality on a console, and then people were like, yeah, this is all right, you know, this is cool, I guess.
And they were like, no, they were like, no.
PS2
look.
comes out and it's like still not the same quality, and everyone's like, yeah, I'm getting that shit. And I'm
That's
like, I get it,
crazy, dude. Everybody was like, I remember being part of that problem. Being like, that's fine. And then the Dreamcast being better than the PlayStation 2. And I'm just like, PS2 is so cool.
I was a Dreamcast mark. I was a huge mark. I was the leap in, because like I would always tell my friends that wouldn't be paying attention. I would say, do you not notice how smoother the gameplay is in the arcade machines? I guess they just weren't paying attention. I'm like, do you not realize like how much better these machines are when you go home and you play shit and it sucks ass? You're like,
people did not have an eye for that back then.
No,
I like even just like frame rates in general. Like I'm a frame rate snob now, where it's like if something isn't minimum 60, I really can't play it. Like if it goes like to even if it falls to like 50 or something, I'm like, I can't fucking do this. But back in the day, you know, I was playing games that were chugging. And I didn't even really notice.
You didn't notice, yeah.
No,
it's
you
so
notice.
True.
You go back and play like any of those games now, and it's like, holy fuck! How did I do this without being nauseated? No wonder my parents couldn't sit there and watch this. Like I'm fucking screaming looking at it. So like, I don't know. I think it's just like a what do you call an exposure issue, or just like a like a literacy in tech.
It's
that just
crazy,
wasn't there at the time.
I can deal with 30 frames, but I can't deal with anything I've seen at higher. Like if I play it at a higher frame rate, I can't go back. I can't go back to play something at a lower frame rate. Like if I play like Destiny at like 60 frames, I can't play it on PlayStation anymore. It'll make me throw up. I will vomit, so I can't do it. But I remember being able to watch. Do you remember how, you know how things in the 90s have that weird like 90s film grain thing to it a little bit? And then when you remember it, you're like, it didn't have this. Why does it look so gross now? Like every time I watch Power Rangers and I see Power Rangers from like before, I'm like, that wasn't there. It looked so vibrant. What's wrong with this?
I know exactly what you mean. It's just how our eyes are so used to. It's like if you want to see the big difference between like say quality of television versus how we see things and other means, it's sports is the best thing you can look at. Watch sports games from like the 90s or 80s or whatever, but look at the pictures from the same era and you're like, the fucking contrast now is so insanely noticeable. It's crazy. Back then I didn't notice too much. I didn't really notice the difference too much. We're like, oh, it's a high quality shot, a photo of Jordan dunking or something, and seeing it on television wasn't the craziest difference. Now it's like it's literally like the difference between putting dog shit in your eyes and not having dog shit in your eyes. Like watching, like seeing photos. It's crazy. I'm like, this looks so bad. I'm like watching some of the most iconic moments, and like this looks so bad, but seeing the pictures, I'm like, that shit looks fucking awesome. And I'm dude, what's going on with my eyes?
I do think some of it has to do with the way, like the tech that we use, though. Like because, and this kind of blew my mind when I saw it. I didn't really, I had heard this theory before, but I never really believed it until I went to like this flea market type thing, where it's like a bunch of people selling old stuff. And obviously, I sought out the games guy because I was just like, I'm most interested to see like what that guy has. I wonder if he's got like a fucking Neo Geo or something. Just curious to see. And it was some guy with a bunch of shit. It was like exactly what you would expect. A bunch of racks with like GameCube and like PS2 and like Dreamcast and stuff. It was cool. But then he had like in the corner an original Sony PlayStation playing Tony Hawk Pro Skater 2 on a CRT TV, and it looked awesome. Like it looked like how I remembered it looking, as opposed to like when you put in a new game into like a modern TV or like a modern display, and you're like, "What the fuck am I looking at?"
Yeah, it's crazy like, how bad they look, dude.
But they didn't though. That's the thing. It's like it's literally just the consoles and games were designed to be looked at and played on those televisions because that's what everybody had. So then like you put them through like a fucking, you know, put them through like an HD TV, and it looks like a watercolor painting melting in the sun.
Have you
and
seen Melee on a modern television, bro? It's disgusting. So bad, and I'm like,
dude, have you seen Ocarina of Time or Majora's Mask on a modern display?
No, I have not.
That shit.
Purpose.
I remember, I could not clean my glasses enough. I was scrubbing I was like, it must be my glasses. like it must be me, because this TV is more than capable of playing an N64. Surely. So I would scrub my glasses. I fucking dipped it in fucking acid, and still, like, it looked like a watercolor. Do you remember Okami?
Yeah.
That PS2 game with like the wolf, and it was like made to look like watercolor. It looked like that, but not on purpose.
It's crazy, dude. It's wild playing those.
It makes sense though, right? Because like it makes sense what you're saying, because it's why all these HD versions have to come. Like, they have to make them. Like, I was playing the Devil May Cry HD collection, and I'm like, yeah, this is how I remember it looking. I remember it looking like this, and I'm looking at footage of people playing it on PS2, and I'm just like, nah, there's no way. Like, I'm looking at it on YouTube, for example.
Yeah.
And it does. It is it
rough.
Exactly what you described it.
Rough,
it just looks like some oil fucking just blotchy. I'm like, what the fuck, man? There's no way it looked like this. And it's like, okay, to your point, using these modern fucking screens cannot capture it. So I understand. I understand that aspect to it as well. It is very technology, and I guess our eyes fucking tricky. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. It's a whole bunch of bullshit.
Your eyes
but anyway,
always make you think everything's all right, but it's never all right. In fact, you're always in danger.
Yeah. In fact, nothing is ever good enough. Never be happy.
Never be happy. Never be content. Being content is a lie. That's fake. If you're content, you're okay with dying.
Yeah. If you're content, why not just die? Honestly. Anyway, welcome to the Snark Tank Podcast. Welcome to the Snark Tank Podcast. There's some, not a lot this week, honestly. That's why we kind of went off on a tangent. That's not exactly why, but it's probably like, what do you call, subconsciously why. There's not really a lot going on Twitter right now. Like, I looked, not really much of anything. Although there is this thing that I feel ignorant on, that I don't know what the fuck is going on. I don't know what this Dark Brandon shit is. I assume it's what was it, that let's go Brandon thing?
Let us go Brandon.
I still don't understand that meme, to be honest. Like, is that like that's supposed to be like code for fuck you Biden, right?
Fuck Joe Biden.
So why not just say that?
So that's what everybody's like. What, you guys too pussy to say fuck Joe Biden?
Pussy.
Yes, that is part of it.
I would say that. Fuck Joe Biden. Joe Biden sucks.
He's not a great guy.
So, but I know, if you guys remember the origins of that, and you guys listening, there was, I think it was some type of race car thing, some redneck bullshit. Everybody's driving cars in a circle, and
nice.
They're hearing the chant. They're hearing the chant "fuck Joe Biden," and one of the reporters was like, what are they saying? I think they're saying "let's go Brandon" or some shit. So it was born from that guy saying that, and they thought it was so cute that they all just started saying "let's go Brandon," and everybody knows it's code for "fuck Joe Biden." And that took off, I was kind of surprised. I'm like, wow, that's not even that clever. I thought that was a cute one-off thing. This is what I mean about, like, because we talked about right, that. What is it?
Yeah, this is exactly what I talked about with the oh my god, the Crowder Joe Biden farting video, where it's just like it's so first grade, all of it. It's like, let's go Brandon. That's cute. Let's go Brandon. And it's like, oh my god. Took off.
Or I'm like, I thought that should have been like worth a chuckle for a.
That's like 3 days max.
No, it's not. No, it's not funny.
No, it's not funny, but that has the shelf life. But that has the shelf life of about 3 days. Like, it's vaguely, it's like vaguely amusing.
I guess, bro.
Yeah,
that's like, just an insult.
It's just, to me, it was funny that, like, how could you hear "let's go Brandon" from "fuck Joe Biden"? That's where it's like funny to me. And I'm like, how did he hear that, or did he purposefully say something like that? I don't know if the person that he was interviewing was named Brandon something. I don't really remember that. I don't remember who the fuck he was talking to. So maybe that's why. I don't know if he did it purposefully to spin it.
Yeah,
or
it's not that important.
He literally heard that. But either way, I was like, oh, that's funny. That's how that even happened. What a weird thing. Took off to the point where now you have people who are, left leaning, progressive, whatnot. That with the small amount of things that Brandon is doing, okay. That basically they're just calling him Dark Brandon now. He's basically he's rising. They've made him. They're making him powerful specifically to kind of piss off the right. Like they're giving him the red, meme eyes, laser eyes. He's like dark red and he's like some dope ass character and stuff.
What makes him dark? Like what is he? Oh, is it like a student loan?
So
thing?
Dark Brandon is Biden, but Dark Biden is Dark Brandon.
It's basically it's almost like a Sith version of Biden, but in a way that like they're just saying it's almost a way how the right would say somebody's based.
Yeah, it's
like,
evil.
That person's based.
Yeah, it's like evil to them. So it's like it's like evil Spider-Man still has his uncle. Like it's like that meme. I think based on how I can fucking decipher it.
It's just because like they're basically like dark because Biden has become spooky to these people all of a sudden. When he's always been this milk toast, senile, weak leader, can't do anything right. Look what happened in Afghanistan. He's such a buffoon.
He's literally just the crypt keeper now. Like he just stands around regaling, and that's it.
Just absorbing chakra.
But the way that people are portraying him now. Well, the way that the conservative media and people are portraying him now, like he's just, like he is actually Dark Brandon. Like he's this fucking guy that's, look what he's doing, the student loan forgiveness and all this other shit. And he's just like, they're so spooky and afraid of he's destroying the country. And so people on the left are being like, oh, Dark Brandon, just tongue in cheek. And people on the right are getting very angry. So then you saw what happened with that speech he gave, where he's in front of the colors that's like the flag. But then they all cropped it in, and zoomed into that one part where it's all red. And then they're just like, look he looks like Hitler. He looks like a fucking fascist dictator. So then it reinforced the whole Dark Brandon thing. Not only that, in his speech, he talks about these people, not every Republican, but these MAGA people, the occultists, these crazy ass motherfuckers. They're a threat to democracy. They're semi-fascist.
And is that where that picture came from? When it's like him saying "Get out of here," and it's like Hitler saying that to it's a picture of him. Yeah, is that what it is?
Yeah, it's like that political cartoon by Ben Garrison. God bless Ben Garrison.
He did one.
He was like, yeah, he did one. It was like Biden telling "Get out of here" to like a MAGA hat, and then like it's this on top of it, it's the same image of Hitler saying the same thing to Jews.
That's
as
so
if he
awesome.
said, as if he just said, "Hey, Jews, leave."
That's so awesome.
Hey, scat. I love scat. Get out of here.
Dude,
Scat, get out of here.
Fuck off. You shoo.
This is literal. This is literal
Jew.
fascism. It's just literal fascism. Bro. You guys don't get it. And then there's someone in a fascist country that can't eat, and it's just like it's not the same.
The word fascism doesn't mean
it's
anything.
Not the same thing
anymore. It is astounding. It did, yeah.
So did racist. So did racist. Racist meant something once upon a time. So did there's other words I don't really want to say right now, but a lot of words once upon a time meant something. And if you were called that, it had weight.
I don't feel like I feel like fascism has held its meaning up until just very recent.
Last 4 years.
There's the people like there's a nice compilations of a lot of these political pundits and YouTubers, for example, that have these shows, or maybe they're not on YouTube anymore because they got banned. Well, people like Nicholas J. Fuentes, if you've ever heard of him.
Yeah.
Like these are like fascist people who talk about they don't want freedom of speech. They want you, like, if you're a progressive or if you're trans, if you're anything that's decent or you're just a regular person that they just don't see as traditional, they want you gone, banned, erased. They basically have very fascist ideals, and they're very proud of it.
They want you
and
erased.
These people,
that's so heavy. That's so hard.
I mean, and it's real.
Bro.
There's rants of these people saying this shit open and honest. It's we have theocracy as well, and the church they're not even separating fucking government anymore. So I feel like a lot of them are gonna lose their tax status soon enough, because now they're just like, oh, Trump won this and this and that, and then always like there's compilations of just still to this day 2022 kill the gays, burn them, maim them, all this stuff, and I'm like, this is still happening. It's still happening.
Imagine being that worried about gay people, bro. Imagine being that worried about a gay person. Like, imagine waking up and being like, this gay person is going to ruin my life. them so far away from me doing whatever they're doing is the
wake
danger
up and
to
you
me.
think they're just gonna like attack your penis. You take your covers off and there's a gay guy under your covers trying to suck your dick.
It's like the Grudge. Remember you seen the first Grudge movie where he removed the thing and it's like he like freaks out and he gets pulled into the mirror. But instead of that, you get pulled into a drag show because it's gay people. So you get pulled into
a drag show.
Yo, somebody should do this. Somebody should make a gay Grudge.
I'm not even.
I love it. Gay Grudge.
The gay Grudge.
That's basically what these people are talking about.
Oh,
so
my God, I love it.
Biden gives his speech, right? He gives his speech. It's like 20-something minutes, whatever the fuck. And then these people freak out. The same people that have been calling Biden the biggest pussy ever. He's a commie. He's pathetic. He's senile. Now all of a sudden he's an evil mastermind that wants to wipe out everyone that disagrees with him. That is the narrative now. If you watch any conservative media right now, the narrative is he's fascist. There is fucking dog whistling with the fucking imagery. Everything to call him Hitler, which is so
I
funny.
saw. That's what I did see that. I saw the image of Joe Biden like doing this or whatever, and then somebody was like, "That's what Hitler did," and he put his hands up as well once.
And I'm like, "Oh my God, Biden has a dog. They're both the same person."
Let me just say something right now. It's like it is. People laugh at horseshoe theory,
So
but I'm telling you, man, like it is astounding how similar. Both of these sides actually are. If you really get like not in specific beliefs or in policy, but in the way that they psych themselves into these paranoid, schizophrenic fucking headspaces, and the way that they like think.
Oh my God! Okay. I was hearing ringing too, and I was hearing ringing, and I was scared, and I was like, I'm gonna ignore that because no one's supposed to be in my house, so I'm just gonna stay in my room not leave.
That was deeply concerning because we just finished talking about The Grudge, and that felt like a scream, like, oh, the call's coming from within the house type shit.
Like a fucking.
Like, what the fuck
could you
is happening?
imagine? Could you imagine a small Asian person walks out my mirror, and I'm just like, well, guys, don't come looking for me. Let me die. I'm by myself. No one come looking for me. Warn my roommates not to come back to the apartment. Take everything I got in my accounts. Use that to find a different place to live. It's not worth it.
What if it just sucks you off?
Huh?
It's
It
not
just
worth
sucks you
it.
off, though. What if it just sucks you off? You
Nah,
know,
dude,
like,
I'm
that's it.
I'm not.
What if it does it really quick? What if it does it before you can even register that it's happening?
So you finished. You finished. The gay grudge finishes you off. Are you gay?
No, you're not gay if someone sucks your dick.
Are you Grudge?
No.
Are you
no,
You grudge?
You Grudge, bro?
But are you? I feel like so you finished, but you finished though. You finished your completion.
So what?
Are you sure you're not gay?
Yo.
Are you sure the gay grudge has not turned you gay by finishing you off?
Listen, bro. Right?
What's going on here?
I've
Are
been
you gonna
sucked
tell me?
up
Are
by
you gonna give me
many
an
a man,
example?
all right, bro, and I'm not gay still. Still not.
There you go.
By
There
many
it is.
By many a dude I've been sucked off, bro.
See, I thought from my perspective, if you didn't come, if you didn't come, then you're not gay.
If you
Let me ask you this.
When you come, you're gay. That's it. The game's different.
When you come, you're gay. The moment you come, you're gay. In any context. Let me ask you something. If, let's say, you answered that phone, Derek, you answered that call from Tom Sweeney while we were doing the, and it's him, but we're still on call with him, and it's somebody. It's like, hey, what's up, man? We don't do the podcast today, and it's you. It's unmistakably you.
I would legitimately think I was in a coma.
I would immediately
get up and walk out.
No. I would immediately start like.
Yeah,
like pinching myself, just make sure, like, am I feeling things correctly? Like, am I dreaming? Because like when you pinch yourself in your dreams, you don't feel it. It's like numb entirely. So it's like, am I what's going on? Like, that's my first thing, to make sure I'm salient. But like everything, like the second that happens, everything's out the window. That's fine.
Yeah,
that means that you are either out of sync with the timeline or some crazy shit's going on.
You know what's crazy? The out of sync with the timeline's the best. Probably the best outcome.
Yeah, that's
probably like the good ending. Like, oh, Kingston's just out of the timeline. It's fine. He's over there wilding. He's fine. Instead of like, oh, the world's broken, and we found out via Kingston that the world's broken just now. I can't do it.
Terrible.
That'd be crazy. I was so confused. I was like, "What the fuck is this?"
I saw the look on your face. I was like, and then I got scared. Sincerely,
I got scared. I saw that. I got scared.
Anyway, Dark Brandon.
Dark Brandon. These
Brandon.
people they're now afraid of Dark Brandon now all of a sudden, which is I love it. I can't properly express to you how much I love these people who are all like Civil War. We're not going to take this shit anymore. Storm the Capitol. They have all their guns and shit. Now they're all of a sudden just terrified of this man because he said
there's like this whole entire. Because I see this on TikTok sometimes too, where it's like I saw this TikTok like a couple days ago of some guy going like, "How did men go from this to this?" And it was like a picture of men on like in a boat headed to the fucking beaches of Normandy, about to get turned into fucking confetti, and then like a picture of Harry Styles in a dress. And I was just like, "What the? This is fucking lunacy."
I think people think they're like excited when they're gone. They're like, "Hup hup ho, America go!" Hup hup ho. No, they're just like,
they think, getting shot in the head is manly. They think getting shot in the face is super.
They think they're singing fucking sea shanties on the way to the beaches of Normandy, having a little fucking Peter Pan, James and the Giant Peach adventure.
I can tell you personally, my granddad, when he was going to Nam, was crying. He was like, "I'm going to a jungle." You know where I was born? I was born in North Carolina, and I lived my whole adult life in New York City. I'm going to a jungle in Asia now. He wasn't happy. He wasn't doing somersaults in a plane. He was terrified because his life was about to change forever.
Fucking choreographed dance numbers and stuff. How they're gonna
it's like how they think the Navy acts, where they're doing the spins and like the plies and shit like that.
It's like they think it's a commercial for a casino
Fox
or something. Foxwoods is exactly what I was thinking of. Fucking like, just like, oh man, what a neat little adventure. I get to go to a foreign country and lose my friends. Like, what kind of, like, that's not an adventure,
I get
bro.
to befriend this guy from Arkansas, then watch him explode next to me.
You can at least excuse that guy if that guy was like some PTSD riddled dude that was in Afghanistan or Iraq or something, and he was making the TikTok. Then at least he'd be like, "Well, I had a great time over there. You know how many babies I killed, man? That was fucking.
You know how many babies I tossed into the air? I just threw them up in the air and ran off, let them hit the ground on their own.
You know how many indigenous women I shoved into microwaves? Like,
the simple idea, the idea of someone.
You know how many beagles I tossed into fucking Jerusalem from a high cliff? Like, I don't know what.
The idea of walking up to a crib, picking up a baby, walking outside and throwing it up is the most insane shit ever.
Trying to catch it with a drone?
No, he doesn't. They're playing taps with a baby.
I don't think I need to explain this to anybody, but war is not fun. I don't think my dad looks fondly upon, being in a ditch in Vietnam. Like, I don't think that's like a thing that he cares too much. I don't think that's the thing he looks back on with like, oh, what an adventure that was. Like, I don't think
good
he plays like one of those like Battlefields or Call of Duties, and he's like kicking back. This is fucking, man. This just reminds me of fucking. It's the equivalent.
Reminds me of the best time of my life. Like no, bro.
These
like,
were good times, Chris. As he's crying.
That was the TikTok. It was like him going like, how do we get from this to this? And it's like obviously like the World War II soldiers and Harry Styles, and then he goes, men used to be about adventure, and it's like, it's not adventure,
That's
bro.
so
like also people are still in wars. You can enlist if you want. Like Harry Styles is just some fucking like a singer. You think Frank Sinatra was in fucking Vietnam? Like, what are you talking? Like,
he was actually famously not enlisted, even though people want him to.
And I like how Harry Styles represents all men too.
Yeah.
And like, you have American men storming Normandy, and then you have this British bloke just wearing a dress because he wants to, and it's just like, what happened to men? that is men now. Like, as long as, the first dick that was sucked, all of a sudden, men are done. Men are done. What happened to men?
Why couldn't we be more like the Romans, fucking each other and sucking each other and sucking and fucking each other and coming and sucking and fucking cum out of each other?
There needs to be more sucking.
I miss when we, but you could do that. You could do that shit easily. You could go back and look at George Washington and his powdered wig and his fucking little skirt and high socks, and being like, look at this fucking guy, and then compare him to, like, I don't know, Thor in the most recent movie, and like, how do we go from that to this? It's like, what? It's just different people. I bet if you took like the strongest person back then and the strongest person now, they'd probably be more on par with each other, except maybe one's probably less
healthy.
I don't know.
Less healthy by nature of the fact that there's more disease being given to natives at that time. But still.
Yeah. It's like, oh man, I had to drink my fucking mercury and asbestos smoothie. I'll be right back.
I don't know. I'm gonna go whip my slave and come back and fight you in 25 minutes.
But I feel like all these people are silly though. Yeah.
Oh my fucking god.
I love these people though. I really do. Like,
they are great.
I don't love anybody.
Stumbling upon these fools. They're so fun. These people are so fun because you're like, how do you live your life and come to these conclusions? It's fascinating. It's really fucking fascinating.
What mind boggles me is the fact that, like, they haven't, like, just been blown up yet, or like run off, like, or just like not slow down on like a really sharp turn, or just like how are you real? Like, how have you not just, like, I don't know, ate a mozzarella that's like too fast and choked on the fucking mozzarella, like, or just, there's just no way this many people could be alive.
How have you survived? Stupid. How have you survived this long with just all the complexities of just like way smarter people die for way stupider reasons?
Exactly, bro.
So it's like
how come you haven't caught a brick to the back of the head yet? Like, how is that fair?
How is it that Isaac Newton poured mercury behind his eyelids until he fucking passed away, and then you're just here? You know what I mean? Like, it is kind of wild. But I mean, it's a lot of people now. What confuses me more is, like, I can't tell. I don't know what's sadder. I can't tell if it's people who are that stupid and honestly believe these things, or people are kind of like grifting and kind of selling a narrative because they know it's popular, and that is just the way that they make the way that they make their living. Like, I don't know what's more depressing, the idea that everybody is stupid, or that everybody has no.
I definitely, because I have a little bit of admiration for grifters. I really do.
I do. But I also do. I can't deny I respect them a little bit.
It's hard though. It's like, I told you guys, I think yesterday, that Tim Pool invited me on his podcast, on the Timcast, but I don't think I can go. I've thought about it, and there was a part of me that's like, I want to go to get larger exposure for my music, because I just wanted to jam with the guy. But the more I think about it, I'm like, I can't stand this motherfucker.
We should all go. We should go.
Don't sign me up for anything. Don't sign me up for anything. I'd feel
better if I had some backup. If I had some support, I'd feel better.
You know other people. I'm not going on Tim Pool. I can't sit down with Tim Pool. I can't sit down with him and be like, you're lying to people and you're endangering people. And he'll be like, yeah, probably. And he'll start playing his guitar, and I'll be like, I can't do this. I can't talk to you.
Like, behind the scenes, like, I feel like he seems like the type to do that behind the scenes. He'd be like, "Isn't it great?" Like, he would probably after you tell him, dude, you were probably you've probably ruined so many people's lives, and he's like, "I know it's great though."
And he
my concern is that he used to be that way, but now he it's almost like, oh, I drank some of my own Kool-Aid a little bit. Like, that's my concern with Tim Pool. Like, I don't know. I haven't talked to him personally in a very, very long time. I would go on the show. I wouldn't really argue anything because I don't know anything about policy. I'm not up to date on modern politics. So he'd ask me like, "Oh, what do you think about this?" And I'm like, "Oh,
yeah," but neither is he though. So that's the great part.
That's kind of thing.
When you watch his takes, I'm like, I just feel like it's brilliant. I always go back to when he was saying that Trump's going to win by 49 to 50 state landslide.
That was crazy.
And I say this,
that was insane.
And you can only come to that conclusion if you're
gone.
Grifter.
If you're gone.
No, not gone, because I feel like even the stupidest person would be like, oh, how the fuck would Trump win California, for example? Like even or how would he win? Like, the bluest states that are always
like
blue.
New York. Like how is he gonna win New York because of the city? Like it just doesn't make sense.
There's certain states that like you already know are set in stone, and that's why a lot of people feel like fuck, my vote is useless.
It is.
Because no matter
it is. And you should know that.
Trump lost in New York, and he's from there. Like
no one likes him there, bro. People don't like him there.
Yeah.
People will chill with him. They'll smoke a blunt with him, but they're not gonna vote for him.
I mean, that's real shit.
smoke a blunt with you.
Like, long story short, like that narrative that he was even saying and stuff like that, I'm like, I understand what he's doing. This is what his audience wants, and that's how you get paid the big bucks. I mean, that's how you live a lavish life if you are going to be in the political space. I mean, you don't need to look any further than CNN's new owners. CNN has always been left-leaning, right? For the most part. Yeah.
Inoffensively left-leaning.
Now, if you look at what they're doing now,
the vibe's different.
They're leading further and further to the right, and even to the point where Trump is willing to start, because he's like, fuck Fox News. He went on his own website, his own tweeting thing or whatever, and he's like, fuck Fox News. CNN's leading in the right direction, and I'm willing to help you guys fucking, get back on top. Because he sees, CNN basically retired of losing us.
But wait, who owns CNN now?
I forget. I would have to. I don't even want to.
I'll look it up while you talk.
Yeah, look it up and see who owns CNN now. Because now a bunch of people have walked out of CNN. A bunch of people who were there for a long time. I would say like 20 people that worked at CNN that were like pundits and whatnot. They're like, fuck CNN. I'm not working here anymore.
20?
Because obviously,
Jesus,
I think
Christ.
like 20 people.
That's a lot.
Yeah, because they're like they saw the writing on the wall and they're like, we see what you guys are doing. You want to get the big bucks because the people on the right will literally, you can shovel hot lava in their fucking mouths and it'll be like, give me more. And it's sad to say.
I love the right, bro. I love it. I love how something fucked happens, right? And their instinct is to defend horrible people. Their instinct is to defend. I think that's so crazy. Like,
do you remember
something
Roy
wild
Moore?
Do
you remember Roy Moore during the Trump when Trump, I think, was either running or he was, I think, maybe in his in the first term, well, his only term. He hasn't had a second one, but. There was this guy named Roy Moore who was, I think, running for like a seat in Congress or something. He was running for something, mayor, fucking governor. I don't know what the fuck it was, but Trump backed him, even though like there was like a lot of like really shady like pedophile adjacent information about this guy, and everybody was like, he's great though because Trump likes him, and I'm like, bro,
that man's a storybook villain, but okay.
That man.
That's what's happening with all the Lauren Boebert, Marjorie Taylor Greene, all these people
Elon
that
Musk
are just been backed by Trump.
That shit that Elon Musk popped up. It popped
really
up.
fucking bad people. Matt Gaetz, they're all terrible people, but like Trump endorsed them, and so it's like, oh, cool, yeah, we like this guy. And think about this. Think what's happened recently with just continuing with the kind of same shit. The raiding of Mar-a-Lago and what the narrative keeps being fucking told. It's like Trump stole a bunch of documents. Some top secret shit to the point where some FBI people couldn't even go through it. They had to get clearance from other people because some of the shit was so secretive. And they're just like, oh, this stuff was all declassified. Let's just say for the sake of argument it was, even though it wasn't. If it was, it still didn't belong to him. He still stole this shit. He stole this shit. It doesn't belong to them. They still don't care. Then that picture came out showing a lot of the stuff that he stole. The picture came out showing all the boxes and stuff were scattered out. The narrative became, Trump said it himself. They're just trying to make it look like I left all that stuff out there and make me look like I'm messy and incompetent. No one thought that. It was just them taking the stuff and spreading it out to take pictures of it. But that was a narrative ran. If you look on like some of the news networks, they're saying they're trying to make him look incompetent and sloppy and shit. And then the next narrative that happened is that there was a couple of folders that were empty, meaning the logical conclusion, Trump did something with them.
Yeah.
He did something to them. He maybe sold them. Who knows what he did with them? But the narrative is now, and Donald Trump Jr. said, so now they're admitting that some of the folders were empty? Like, what are we even talking about anymore? You see what they're doing? But the base is eating it up. They don't think he did anything wrong still.
It's the opposite of Trump derangement syndrome. Because Trump derangement syndrome is absolutely real. Like there are people who are just like they're weirdos. I remember seeing them all the time when he was president, and then people would like tweet under him like "fuck you, I hate you" every single tweet that he tweeted. And I'm like, bro, like he's not seeing this. Like, you're not doing anything. You're just it's literally just peacocking for everybody around you. Like, oh, look at how much I hate this guy who's easily hateable and is popular to hate. Like, oh, cool, good bully for you, I guess. But this is like the opposite, where it's like, I love him. He's my small Christ.
The amount of I watch a lot of religious content to see what the church is up to and stuff.
What the fuck did you just say?
So
just see what the church is up to, man.
I like to see what the church is up to. You got to see what these people are saying. You got to, dude. The reason why we have theocracy is because nobody's fucking watching them anymore. Like, this stuff is happening because no one's seeing what they're saying every day. Kill the gays. Give us more money, and saying Trump has been anointed by God.
Gays, give us more money.
I swear to you, everything.
I don't think you're lying. I just think I love that. The two taglines of theocracy is like, kill the gays and give us money. That is so fucking funny.
I check into these pastors and preachers. They're shitting on gay people, and they're pissed off that people aren't tithing enough. It's crazy. There was this black preacher that was mad that they weren't given enough because he wanted to buy a new watch.
Oh my God!
Like literally, he was talking about a new watch. I need a new watch, and you guys aren't helping me out enough. And I'm like, this is crazy. Why can't imagine if I did that to YouTube? I was like, guys, what the fuck, man? I've been trying. You see that James Bond. That new Rolly, I can't get my Rolly because you guys aren't tithing enough. You guys aren't giving me enough money, enough super chats. And then they would immediately be like, yeah, suck my dick. But those motherfuckers are like, they just open up their wallets.
The audacity of the church in general to like come at you with like a basket at the end of a long fucking bamboo stick and be like, like I remember being in church and being like, this is all fine, because like I didn't go to like a church that was like, oh, kill it. The church that I went to was like a fucking Catholic church in New York, so it was like, hey, just like be kind to people around you and stuff. It was like a really generic fucking place.
Was like, yo, get them.
But then they would come in at the end of it with like this guy with like a big stick with a small basket at the end of it, like a picnic basket, like a fucking Yogi Bear picnic basket. It's like, money, here's money. And I'm like, what are you?
The money, boo boo.
I don't even think there's electricity in this building. What are you paying for? Like, it just felt
amazing.
Just fucking felt bizarre.
I never had to deal with that. I went to church a lot, and I had the problem for me with church was we ran into a lot of the classic hypocrites. The church-going hypocrites. That was my problem. It'd be people, everyone trying to fuck the pastor, and then me not coming to church a weekend would get everybody talking. And then like it'd be all these women that have objectively had abortions, but in the face of the congregation, they're like really anti it. And I was just constantly like, you guys are the worst humans I've ever met in my life, and you guys think you're great. That's what makes you so terrible. You guys think you're all amazing, to the point that my grandmother was just like, Kingston, just don't come anymore. Just don't come anymore, because they're gonna always try to make you feel like you're some sort of terrible person. I go there for the word and I leave. You're just gonna go there and insult people for hours. So just stay home. And I was like, all right, bet.
That was the best. Being excused from church was the best. That was amazing.
I fought hard until they stopped saying dumb shit to me. Eventually, they learned to stop saying stupid shit to me, and I was like, all right, cool, I'm good with this.
My parents just stopped. Me and my parents just stopped going. I think my mom and dad were just like, it's Sunday. I just want to watch the game.
You just want to chill. Which is what I mean. Dude, there's so I can't stand it, man. I can't stand it how much like we're behind. This country that's supposed to be the best country in the world, how behind we are in fucking everything, right? Like you look at like Australia, for example, it's like 80% secular or something. And now I know there's way less people, but still, come on. They're just like in unison, like, yeah, that old shit's kind of dumb, you know?
Yeah,
like,
but it's different in Australia, right? To be fair. Like the reason why Australia is secular is because there's no reason to believe in God there. There's no prosperity. There's no beauty.
There's beauty.
How's the reason to believe over here?
There's beauty in Australia. Have you seen Australian women? There's fucking beauty there, right? There's beauty. There's prosperity.
Australian women. That's different.
No. Hold on a second. Hold on. This fucking piece of shit right here. I'm
What?
pointing.
No,
I'm pointing.
no. I can look at.
Right here
I can look at a
has
woman
been fucking
and
dogging on my wife and dogging on European prods, and then all of a sudden he's like, Australian who are descent from fucking Europe.
No,
they're
Derek,
saying they're beautiful.
Derek,
You've been exposed, bitch. You've been exposed.
One second,
You've been exposed.
One second. I've never said one ill word about your wife. She's a fantastic person. You are the problem, Derek. It's you. You did it. She's fine. She's fine. She's done nothing wrong. You married her.
All right, Farrakhan. Okay, Farrakhan.
He had some good points, except for about like Jewish people, like those Hitler-esque
Jewish people being termites.
Those Hitler-esque points were kind of wild, but other ones he had some good ones, bro. I stand by that.
That's like being like, Hitler was pretty fucked up, but he got the Autobahn, man. That's a good ass system.
He got the Autobahn. A lot of medical progression. Germany got out of the hole that was caused by a certain group of people. I'm not going to say anything.
Stop. I hate those talking points so much. These people are like, oh, the Nazis did terrible. I'm like, no, they didn't. My God.
One of my favorite tweets ever was some guy. I don't remember who it was, but it was just like one tweet. It was just like, you under no circumstances gotta hand it to Hitler. Or something like it was just like that was just the tweet. And it just like it fucking cracked me up. Under no circumstances do you gotta hand it to Hitler.
What's the worst part? The worst part is that in like in intellectual writing and reading and stuff like that, you have to hear people say things like that. You just have to, because someone's gonna be like, it's objective truth. So someone's gonna objectively be like, now the Nazi Party, though they were bigoted and all this stuff, what are some of the things that came out of it? And you got to be like, the use of cortical steroids. I'm like, all right, one good point too. And then you feel like you're in a room where people, because there's this one asshole that's like, yeah, they did that. Like you feel like you're just in a room that's kind of being like weird, the Nazi party's good, and it's like
weird. It's weird being in a position where you're just being like trying to argue positive things about the, you know what I mean? Like it's just like
it's
maybe
weird. It's like
you don't got to be there, but. What the fuck were we even talking about? How did we get here?
I'm talking about the fact that Derek insulted me. I can say anyone is beautiful, Derek. I just wouldn't.
No, you've been. No, this motherfucker. I've like, somebody on the podcast is gonna be pulling up some shit of you,
of course,
dogging fucking white women, fucking just saying some shit about them being devils and all this stuff.
Show me the stats that disprove it, and I'll immediately disagree. Show me the stats, bro. I can show you several stats that prove it. Like, come on, bro.
I think Australia. Look, I'll say Australian women are beautiful, but that continent is a godless place.
Hey man,
like you.
I wouldn't live there.
Like America's rough, but like you play Red Dead Redemption, and you're like, this is kind of a beautiful country before we fucked it up. And Australia, you go to Australia, and then you go out of the airport, and then a spider walking on two legs walks up to you, pulls its hand out of its pockets, and pulls out a gun. And says, "Give me all you got," but it's in spider, so it makes those noises.
He doesn't murder you.
But it is saying it though.
You got
but it's saying that, and you understand, and you understand because the universal symbol for pull out gun from pocket is "Give me your things." So you do it, and then you're in the heat. You're in the desert. You got deer that stand up on two legs with a big pocket in the middle, where they're jacked as shit. They're hopping around with talons on their feet. There's alligators running at Mach 10. It's a scary... The plants kill you. There are spiders there that scoop your face out. Like an Oreo. Like, nah, man.
Australia is bad. I don't think it's the worst, though. Australia is really bad.
Look, man. Look, any Australian in the fandom can come in and you can write your piece. You could say your piece. We'll give you the floor. But like
when the Australian fan base will give you the episode is you just talking about how bad Australia is for 2 hours.
I think.
But I think about how. Okay, look. The United States is so big. If you took the worst parts of the United States and put it in a continent as small as Australia,
it would be on fire. It would literally be on fire.
Like. You know what I mean? I feel like there's it's just too big and spread around.
It would be Detroit. It would be Elizabeth, New Jersey.
It'd be Detroit, Jersey. It'd be Florida.
It would be absolutely Los Angeles.
Florida,
the city of Los Angeles.
Now think about like some tornado alley state their homes are
It
destroyed
would be
month.
all of Kansas. All of Kansas, Detroit, Elizabeth, New Jersey, and Los Angeles.
And then
shoved into a continent with spiders.
And 1990
Spiders.
South Bronx. In the 1990s South Bronx. And that would be pretty much explosions happening.
You don't need the year in front of that, my guy. You could just say the South Bronx.
The South Bronx is fine now. 1990 South Bronx was on fire.
Which part is it the Bronx? Which is it that everybody's saying is all like gentrified and all hipstered out?
Brooklyn is gentrified and
Brooklyn was the
hipsters.
worst place in New York for decades. Brooklyn had the highest crime rate on the planet once upon a time.
Go.
That's crazy.
But hold on, because you know that can't be true.
No, it was. Brooklyn, New York had the highest crime rate.
I mean, it's true, but like the planet. You're telling me the Bronx. You're telling me the Bronx had like a higher crime rate than like the fucking Congo.
No. I said on the planet, not ever. Not ever.
Well,
on the planet, I'm referring to at that time, not ever in history.
No. But what I'm saying is there is no way that at the time that the Bronx was the highest rated crime rate in the world, that it actually was. Because there's no doubt places with higher crime rates to the degree that they're not even taking those numbers down because who cares? Like people disappearing in Russia and shit, like come on. But the highest crime rate was in Brooklyn on the planet.
You have
Brooklyn.
to understand, by being born in Russia, they agree to the fact that they may be. They agree.
All right, let's move on. We should move on anyway because Kiwi Farms is dead.
Oh right.
Oh yeah.
Kiwi Farms got nuked into the underground. They're gone entirely.
It's insane.
It's kind of crazy.
It's insane.
You deserve it.
It's kind of depressing that because I believe as far as we know, it was taken down because of there was this like weird campaign that they were like running, kind of like it was a bunch of people like Kiwi Farms, for people who don't know, is like it's basically a glorified stalking forum, like is kind of how I remember it. It was just like a bunch of like like Cro-Magnon, no chin having weirdos, like just kind of mouth breathing at each other and like typing shit about like, oh man, iDubbbz is a cuck, or like fucking like all this other like just like really stalking people to the point where they were finding people's houses and like just like constantly talking shit all the time. Like it was like a really fucking. I remember I went on that site a couple times just because I was curious, and some of the shit that they had to say about me is like hilarious. Like I thought it was funny, but it's so sad also. Like I felt genuinely bad for some of these people because I'm like, damn, bro, like this is next level pathetic. Like, so I don't feel bad that they're gone. I'm glad that they're gone. It bothers me. It bothers me though that Keffals of all people is the one that took him down, because Keffals is kind of just bizarre based on what I've seen. I don't fully understand this person.
I've seen. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
No. Go ahead.
That's the thing. I think on the surface, a lot of people don't know that much about Keffals, and I did a little bit of a deep dive because of these. I was like, who is Keffals, and why is there some people? There were some people on my timeline that were shitting on Keffals.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what's the problem? I didn't know what the problem was, and apparently, if you do a little bit of a deep dive, a lot of stuff that the Kiwi Farms people were doing, but to a way lesser extent. Keffals seemed to be completely fine with, like deplatforming, taking people's form of income away, just trying to destroy people's lives, like literally destroy their lives. She partook in a lot of that stuff and encouraged her audience to behave in really shitty ways and stuff that we detested back in the day with YouTube when we were really active in talking about controversy and political bullshit. And so I thought that was kind of unfortunate. But one thing, just Kiwi Farms, they poked the fucking bear, dude. They poked the fucking bear. They messed with the wrong person because they probably thought that, first of all, since Keffals is a trans woman, by default, a lot of these people on Kiwi Farms just like, oh, she's a groomer. And the reason why, if you guys don't know this, why they always say trans people are groomers and stuff is because there's a lot of advocates that want younger people to have access to HRT. Because transitioning when they're younger, like say with parental consent and shit like that, is better for their mental health than transitioning when they're fully grown. Like, say if you're a man and you want to transition to a woman, you have a better chance of transitioning and being like a, it sounds messed up to say, but passable, right? To be like, oh, this actually looks like a woman and blah, 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 this and this and that. And it's just better for mental health. It's a whole thing. So the reason they're like, oh, they're taking advantage, they're trying to indoctrinate kids, they're trying to do this is evil, even though HRT is considered medicine, right? But they're like, this is evil, and then, you'll take them to church and give them guns and all this shit. It's totally fine. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that at all.
A gun, though.
Take this gun instead.
The
Take this gun to school
JR-15
instead.
The JR-15. I remember that being a whole thing we were talking about one day about the junior
the junior assault rifle.
And I was like,
that's that's just okay, but I digress on that. It's just they mess with Keffel's obviously got a bunch of pull. Apparently Keffel's got doxxed by the people at Kiwi, which doesn't shock me at all.
That sounds about right, yeah.
Yeah, and that's when Keffels was like, all right, I'm probably in trouble. So she raised money, or someone raised money for her. She made a fuck ton of money. I gotta tell you, I'm a little jealous, even though she's I never want to be involved with these people, because I had a little bit of a taste of it because of, Andy Worski that got knocked out like a couple weeks ago or whatever. He was boxing, he got knocked out in like fucking like 10 seconds or whatever the fuck it was, while he was streaming with all those neo-Nazis at a certain point, like that guy JF. You guys remember that French-Canadian guy? Do you ever see him? Mm-hmm. Jesus Christ. When he was streaming around that guy, he started making up a bunch of rumors just to appease these Kiwi Farms type people. And that was when he started making up rumors about me. I didn't know about it until one of my buddies told me. And so some of these degenerates started coming to my social media. And I'm confused, like, what did I do to these people? I've never even talked to these assholes because I don't want to deal with these people and get swatted. And I'm black. Me getting swatted is different. It's fucking different, bro. Like, so I stay away from this shit. I'm like, I don't want to. I watch from afar. I never comment. I'll never like say. I've watched a lot of this weird shit go down between like the Ethan Ralphs and all those people that the locals. I watch from afar. Do not get involved. Other than when I saw Andy Worski get knocked out, I started tweeting about that because I thought that was fucking hilarious.
That was hilarious.
It was funny. I couldn't help it. That was too funny to me. But anyway, she got involved with these people and felt like my life's in danger, raised a bunch of money, and moved somewhere to in Europe. She said, I'm fucking off to Europe. Apparently, these autistic motherfuckers found her through like a doorknob or some shit. Which
It was the same thing as like the what do you call it? The
He Will Not Divide
the He Will Not Divide. I think about that a lot. Because
it's so good.
Because it is insane that they tracked fucking airplanes in like clouds to find this, because it was just a camera aimed at the sky. So they were like tracking like time of day and like plane like air traffic control and like the way the clouds would form and dissipate and like weather patterns, and then they found it. It's like you can't hide from certain people. It's just like it's futile.
It's really terrifying actually. It's scary.
Yeah.
It's scary that people put that much effort into anything. It's really disgusting.
And I say this genuinely, not as a joke. I'm like, these people are on the spectrum. That's what it takes to be able to track that fucking well. To be that hyper-focused on something.
Through a doorknob. I've seen that doorknob in Denmark twice.
It's something like that. It was literally they found out what type of thing it is, where it's popular. They found her or whatever. There was a post because whoever their parent company was that hosts them and has the whole DDoS protection. I forgot what their name is, but they first came out and said, yada yada, free speech. Then there was two smoking guns. A bunch of people started putting pressure and pulling money, and their fucking stocks tanked. They're like, oh shit. And then a perfect way to pull the trigger is somebody posted on Kiwi Farms that I found them. We're going to get her to go to this place. I forgot, donut shop, bakery. I forgot, pastry shop. I have some boys coming through that are going to kill her, or bomb the place. They basically were just posting that they're going to murder this and probably a bunch of people with them. So that was like the perfect excuse to be like, okay, this is enough. This needs to be shut the fuck down. And many of people have tried to get rid of Kiwi Farms because it has been linked to multiple suicides. And then finally, like it shut, which was nobody thought it was going to happen.
That's horrifying, dude. That's Terrifying.
It's fucking crazy that, like, I get the internet, what the internet is, but it is kind of nuts that, that there's companies that they'll just host it. They'll host this type of shit. They'll just do it.
Yeah, I'm not shedding any tears for Kiwi Farm. They're even their fucking what is it? Their Wayback Machine, their Internet Archive is gone. Like, you can't even look at it on the archive. So they actually just straight up got they got erased in a way that is not common. Like, they're actually just they are ashes.
They're poof and gone.
In because there are websites that are gone, right? But you can go onto the Wayback Machine and you can see what was on them. You could go back and see 2010 YouTube if you want. Right, that's available there.
You can go on Live Leak and so that shit is gone.
Yeah, and you can still go on Lively. You can still go on eFucked,
eFucked so is gone.
Is eFucked gone?
eFucked's not gone.
No, that's what I'm saying. It's what I'm saying is even that's still around.
Okay.
Yeah.
But
my heart was about. The funny thing is how I felt. I felt concerned, even though I haven't been on that site in years.
What, eFucked?
I still felt concerned.
There's probably a bunch of new stuff on there.
I want to go.
Bro,
the
amount of content I used to go on Quarterly. I used to go on eFuck Quarterly. Say I would go like 4 times a year or 3 times a year, and then I stopped. I remember specifically in 2015 I stopped, and I was like, "Fuck, I haven't been on in a while." And
I'm sure, man, you've got a treasure trove of content now.
Too much stuff piled up.
I want to go on eFuck deep dive.
I went on one time with my ex-girlfriend in 2018, and then I saw a Japanese girl is throwing up on this guy and his what do you call it? His breakfast cereal. And then I was gone. I was already I tapped out. I was like, I'm good.
I want to
imagine getting splattered with Lucky Charms in the middle of that, man. Holy fuck.
Oh man. I've been trying to convince Lily to go on an eFuck dive with me. One day we just go on eFuck for an hour and just watch a bunch of fuck shit. But I know she can't sustain that. I feel like if she goes through with that, she'll either leave me or the person she'll become I won't love anymore, and I'm scared.
That's reasonable.
Dating you, it'll just be
me dating you. It's a fucked up female Mexican version of me dating me, and I'm like, oh man, you were good once upon a time. You had a light to you.
It's over now.
Oh,
but
I like corrupting women. It's pretty cool.
It's funny.
Jesus Christ. Anyway,
hurting women makes me laugh, but it's emotionally, not physically.
Anyway, Nikki Ziggy wrote in. Nikki Ziggy wrote in. He says, "Hey, why is it that when I hear sexist bullshit from Andrew Tate, I couldn't care less, but when the Snark Tank Trio shits on women, I find myself overwhelmingly agreeing and I start beating myself up, so that way you don't have to sully your hands."
She's one of my friends. That's so terrible.
Yeah, shout out to Nikki. Her and her mans were in Vegas. We met up. We went to that what is it called? That restaurant Dick's. The notorious restaurant where they treat you like shit.
Really?
And
what is
I've
that
heard
real?
about this. Yeah, I've heard about this thing for fucking years.
So you went?
Never went. So we went because she was like, "Oh, we're gonna be in town for some shit, some thing," and then I was like, "All right, yeah, cool. Hit me up if you end up showing up." And it was a big UFC event, so I was like, bro, I can only stay for so long. So we hit Dick's, and then we hit the Excalibur Arcade. And I gotta tell you, man, Dick's was it was at least the guy that we had. This guy was fucking hilarious. And yeah, they have no filter and stuff. It's a pretty cool website. Not website, what the fuck am I saying? Pretty cool restaurant. And it's actually the only place I would not mind being a server. Because you can just shit on the fucking customers. And the guy's coming over to me and talking shit about some some fucking tiny Mexican and how disgusting he looks, and I'm like, dude, what? There's some gross ass people there, and pissed off that there's this fucking hot ass chick with this average looking guy, and he's like, what the fuck is this bullshit, man? And he's like, dude, I'm gonna try to get at her, and I'm like, dude, really? And yeah, it's pretty cool, man. It's pretty cool. Oh, but shout out Nikki Ziggy.
Yeah. Anyway, I don't know. Should we talk about the Def Noodle stuff, or should we save it? I don't know. Because the Def Noodle stuff is slightly interesting. It's just more this guy's weird. So I don't know if it's really all that much juice behind it. But I guess just to touch briefly on it.
Sure.
This dude, Def Noodles, he's like a Twitter drama guy, I think, based on like what I've seen from him. I could be wrong, but he just he used to. I remember I would see his tweets on the timeline all the time about like I don't know, like Trisha Paytas got engaged or something. It'd be like all caps, and he's like one of those guys. He just like tweets news in all caps, but it's all like drama news, so it's all just like vacant bullshit. But he recently tried to delve into like stand-up comedy, and he had this big roast battle thing, this big roast event. Anybody who watches Charlie knows there was like this big roast battle that he had like a bunch of people participate in this roast battle in person at like a venue and everything, but nobody there knew each other. So it wasn't like a roast, but it was just random people.
Roast people that you don't know.
No, exactly. It was like it was a shit show, and like he wasn't funny, and then everybody was like making fun of it. So he threw another thing together, and then that wasn't funny either. And like he assaulted somebody at the most recent thing. Like he invited somebody to come. He invited this Salvo guy to come to this event to like put up or shut up, basically. Like he calling him out, and then he showed up,
right?
And then he pushed him from behind into the crowd or whatever. And had bodyguards like protecting it. And it's just like the saddest fucking thing I've ever seen.
I love it. I love it.
I don't know if anybody wants to look into this shit. I highly recommend it. It is very amusing.
I knew he was pretty unhinged. Only because the first time I ever saw him, he was H3. Ethan Klein was actually kind of vouching for him, putting him on the show a lot, putting him on the show on his podcast and stuff, but it was more of an alliance against Keemstar. It was for like purposes of that. And then at a certain point, this is when I noticed something was weird about this Def Noodles guy, was he started someone started picking up almost like a New York accent. Like he's not from New York at all, but he like the way that he started like telling news, because he was like doing that drama stuff, and people were like, what the fuck's going on with this guy? And he'd be like, yeah, so today in today's news, we got over here, and they were like, what the fuck's happening? And like, it was not like a joke, though. He was just doing it for episodes. And people were like, something's wrong with this guy.
Something's wrong here.
This guy's a little weird. And I noticed that he stopped appearing on H3's podcast. So I don't know if he was like, oh, I don't know what's going on with this dude. I don't know if he's a little weird. And then I guess it devolved into this live shit that really exposed that, like, oh, this guy doesn't have any talent or anything. He's just around. And I guess people are wondering how the fuck he even blew up in the first place, because that's where I'm at. I'm like, where the fuck, like,
it's more of a train wreck, you know? I feel like that's kind of more of what's interesting about it. But
it's weird, man. I do need to maybe watch a video. I'm sure somebody's made a video and detailed about all the shit that's going on, because I'm a little bit behind you.
Yeah, it's not crazy, but it's worth a chuckle. But that's really all that's happened. Rest in peace, I guess, Kiwi Farms. You know, we hardly knew you.
R.I.P. Kiwi Farms. I'm glad we didn't.
And Dark Brandon. And Dark Brandon still in the middle of his reign. We'll see how that turns out.
Floating around, shooting lightning out his hands. You ain't
That's
black.
What he does, man.
And I guess you're not black, and he shoots you. Hair's blonde in the summertime.
I will say, hair's blonde in the summertime. I do remember there's this like right wing artist who most of his drawings are kind of like, they're well done, but they're also mostly like one note. They're like really hyper detailed. I'm sure like some of you have seen them, but there's this one great one that he did of Joe Biden stealing the blackness out of this lady.
So great. It's so
right. That was classic. Yeah.
And it is genuinely like a good. It's a genuinely good comic, and it is funny.
Are you gonna vote for me?
Yeah.
No, then you ain't black.
Then you ain't black.
And pulling the.
Their eyes are open. She looks like one of those like on the Boondocks, like who's it? You know, Robert's daughter.
Yeah, what you got? The hybrid.
Yeah.
I forgot her name. The fusion.
The fusion.
The little half and half.
Yeah, whatever her name is.
Anyway, let's move on to some questions.
We gotta stealing a black off of somebody. That'd be terrifying.
Or actually, should we mention what we talked about?
Oh yeah.
You want to mention it now? You want to?
We should have mentioned it probably earlier, but like I guess before we go into questions, So we are in the process of kind of revamping the Patreon. We're in the process of revamping the show in general. We're adding some perks to certain tiers. We haven't finalized everything yet, but it's some pretty cool stuff. Mm-hmm. We're also talking about doing an extra show. I don't know if we've decided on the frequency of it yet. I think one extra show a week is kind of cool. Mm-hmm. I think that'd be really cool. But exclusively for Patreon, and it's not going to bleed into this show. It's not going to take any content out of the show. This show will still be the same. It's still us interacting with your questions and stuff, and doing current events and shooting the shit. But the extra show is going to be media oriented. So basically, we haven't finalized everything out yet. We don't have a name for it yet. But
we had an idea, but
yeah,
no
basically
one
like
wanted to listen to me.
Just fucking around with like movies and games on a more deep level, I guess. And to having that kind of exclusive to the Patreon, so that won't go to free feeds, but it's just extra supplementary stuff if you guys want to check it out. That won't start immediately. I'm thinking like towards the end of the month we'll have everything pretty much ready to go and finalized, but we're in the process of doing that. So if you want to jump on over to the Patreon, we'll have some more info there in the coming week or two. We'll have some polls based on like what media you want this stuff to be on, like what movies, TV shows, whatever the fuck. And we just want to add some more stuff basically to the Patreon side. So pop on over to patreon.com/snarktank and see if what's there tickles your fancy.
Yeah, you better though.
Anyway, let's
better though, seriously.
Fancy, yes.
Yeah, you better though, for real. We're gonna hurt you if you don't. So Keemstar's scum-soaked sponge beard wrote in.
Oh God.
Hello, funny man. I was listening to the last episode with Sween and Derek, and it made me wonder: would any of you ever be interested in doing history type videos? It doesn't have to be anything super serious, but hearing you guys talk about political history or just history in general would make the subject way more interesting. Thanks for your question. This is I don't know. I mean, he didn't. I guess this was an episode with just you guys.
It was episode before. It was episode before last, I think.
Yeah, because I don't think like this. I don't know. For me, I'm not a history person. Colin's a history guy.
I love history. I love history. I love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. It's so insightful.
Oh yeah, the interesting thing is, I've always thought about it was just like Count Dankula, for example, when he delved into what he does now is he talks about historical figures or sometimes moments, but he does it in his style and his cheeky Scottish accent, and it's very popular. And I've always thought that was one thing that was missing from history or certain subjects is interesting people actually talking about historical stuff. My problem is I do not have the patience to do research. Like a lot of these people will do teams. Like some of my favorite channels, like Biographics, for example. It's a team of maybe 3 people. So they have the editor, they have the host. I think Matt Taylor, whatever the fuck his name is, guy that writes the script. If there was a script put in front of me, I would 100% do it. I just do not want to fucking. I gotta spend all this time researching and shit like that. It's the same thing with I thought about true crime is missing blackness. You know, they're always like there's missing. There ain't enough niggas.
It's
in
true
crime.
though. It's true that
it's
field,
true. I think
field is predominantly white women and a few white dudes. It's not a single black. A black woman would fuck that area up. It'd be insane.
Right. And so if you had somebody to like do, because it's like one of the true crime, the only true crime guy that I watch every once in a while is this guy, this Irish dude named the channel's That Chapter, and I think he has like a guy that he works with, and then his channel is just insanely massive. And so if I found somebody to partner with that would be willing to do the research, and then I'll be the host guy, I would fucking absolutely love to do history or true crime or what the fuck ever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not. Doing
that's not a bad idea. It's not, I do think you always have to assess what's missing from certain things
to be able to add your spice.
Because I do think because when I started delving into politics, I specifically remember feeling like there's not really like I remember like watching a lot of political content, but it was always very didactic or very very serious or even if it was funny, it wasn't really all that wasn't. It was just like more just. I don't even know how to describe it. Just like wasn't all that interesting to watch. So I was like, all right, well, I just totally aped for like the first like year or so. Like I totally aped fucking normal boots, like Peanut Butter Gamer and JonTron, and I just like was like, that's a good style, and I just attributed it to politics, and that was like a huge boon for that because I don't think there was really much of any of that going on at that time. I think maybe Shu was doing a little bit of that, but that was it, really. Like there was nobody else. Like at the time, Sarkhan wasn't doing that. It's weird. Blair White wasn't doing that. Nobody else was doing that.
That's crazy.
So you have to find like it's hilarious that you mentioned that because I can't think of a single minority true crime.
You know why? You know why? Because crime for us it's not.
It's just life.
It's not something you can view with a film. It's like, oh, I have a relative that was killed on some bullshit. This isn't funny to me. This is just me at a funeral with someone I care about. I could have known that guy, you know? This young criminal was just a kid in my class that just didn't get heard the right way, and then he went down a bad path. So I mean, go for it.
White women making true crime stuff is kind of like, I don't know, like a kid doing a book report about an animal that he sees at a zoo. It's like he's not really in danger. He has nothing to do with it.
Stop.
It's like I'm just here.
Let's not attack the
I'm just
white
here.
female.
I'm just here chilling. I'm just here chilling. It's like, oh, I'm safe behind this glass. I get to watch all this crime happen.
This is so interesting because of the fact that I'll never experience it. Why do girls like crime documentaries so much?
There's
I don't know, Nikki?
Research
Ziggs, explain. She actually doesn't. She's actually explained to me she doesn't.
Oh, she doesn't?
She doesn't like that stuff.
Okay.
Which is weird.
It's the same with, I guess a lot of people ask the question, why are there so many female fanatics of serial killers?
Yes. Where does that come from?
It kind of ties into the same thing. And also another question that could be asked is, why is 50 Shades of Grey, why was that so insanely popular with women?
You know what? You know what it is.
Twilight also was literally like, Twilight was like, hey, I'm a vampire and I'm gonna stalk you and it's gonna be romantic.
You know what's crazy? What? Grown ass women love Twilight. Grown ass. My friend's mom liked Twilight, and I was like, Miss Stephanopoulos, that shit is horrible. This series is terrible. How do you like this? I mean, I watched them all in theaters myself, you know, but still, like, how did you do this? You're a grown up. You don't have to try to get pussy to do this.
Yeah,
there's just some, and obviously it's not all women. There's just some women that just fantasize about these certain things. They're like, that's very fascinating.
Look, man,
I even have anecdotal shit too about.
I know what you're saying. I know what you're saying, but I don't look. I'm not saying.
What, Chris? Go ahead and agree with me. Go ahead and agree. Go ahead and step to the side. Step to the side of the pole. Go ahead.
Look, I'm just saying.
Yeah. Say it.
It's a lot of women who like this. Like it's not a small. I think it's 80. I would bet I would bet 80% of women like true crime, and if they don't like true crime, they just haven't seen it or haven't heard of it yet. Like I just feel like there is something.
I think it's the idea of the people that like it because it's not.
It's
kind
of like honestly, it's kind of like sports, to be honest. Like I don't like sports at all, but I mean, you really only have to look at the popularity of the NBA and the WNBA to know that like women just generally kind of don't care about sports. Like generally speaking, it's just like it's just not something they give a shit about. Like on a statistical, objective. It's like when everybody's like, why doesn't the WNBA get paid as much as the NBA? It's like you're fucking out of your mind. Like that's not like
people ask those questions.
It's such a crazy, like that's not sexism. That's just like straight up like you don't demand you are not bringing in the audience
of the other group
that the other group is bringing in. It's like I don't care about. I don't give a shit. I don't give a fuck about sports at all. It is you will not find a I don't think you could find a single woman who cares less about sports than I do. Like, I sincerely am like an outlier in that sense. Like, most people that I know care about sports in some way. They watch the Super Bowl. They fucking... Or they have some team that they like. Or, you know, like, I get it. Like, even in Last Stand, like in Colin's podcast company. I think I'm literally the only person there who does not give a shit about any of it. But
oh yeah, he likes his New York jizz. I forgot he's all about that shit.
Yeah, he likes he like watches
Jizz, jizz. I know he's all about the Jets.
They all watch it, like to the point, like in the middle of a show, they'll make sports analogies, or they'll like make, and I'm like, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. All right,
I mean, I honestly wanted to pop off about how disrespectful NBA 2K23 has been to the PC, but I just would like to, but I was like, wait, these motherfuckers, like, you don't even.
Well, I know about video games.
Of course I do. I play 2K. What do you think I don't? You think I'm a black man that doesn't own 2K22? Like, that's crazy. That's insane to you. That's insane to me. Of course, I bought that game without telling anybody I bought that game, literally. And I play it sometimes. You bought it
out of obligation.
Sometimes I play it, and like my roommates come in there, like, "Are you playing an NBA game?" And I'm like, "Yeah."
You hurry up and shut it off.
What do you want? Yeah, it was closed for a week. Why didn't you knock?
You change it to fucking Magic the Gathering or whatever. It's like no, it wasn't black.
it wasn't black, bro.
I love imagining the idea of somebody going to like a GameStop or like waking up like just like browsing Steam or whatever. It's like, oh, NBA, and they look at their arm and they're like, I gotta buy it. I gotta buy it. I'm black. I gotta buy it.
No, you think you don't have to buy it. You look away to exit out, and then you look over, and it says purchased, and you're like, I didn't.
I get it though. I feel the same way. It's like a Puerto Rican. Like it's like, oh, it's why I like stealth games, I think.
But I don't think that's I don't think it's exactly Puerto Rican, but okay. I mean, I like stealth games too.
Is that what's going on?
I also like stealth games too, but
not like me, man. I'm sorry.
But I don't think stealth is Puerto Rican. I feel like baseball is Puerto Ricans. I feel like that's a thing. Like Puerto Ricans like baseball.
Major League Baseball games?
Yes, he does. Yes, he does.
Why don't you play MLB The Show?
Yes, he does.
I literally have the show.
Of course.
I literally have the show. Do you remember when I was playing it, Kingston?
We were both interested. We were like, "Oh, this is really cool."
I remember I was on the couch in my old apartment, like, and Kingston was on the couch, and I turned to him. I was like, I don't like baseball really, but this is pretty good. I do own
MLB to play the show.
I don't know. It's my dad. It's my dad who put me in baseball team when I was like a fucking child.
Of course.
And now I just like have this intrinsic like I don't like baseball. I would never play it again in my life or watch it.
Yeah, sure you
would. But
would.
like for whatever reason,
if it was on, you'd watch it. If it's on, and you'd walk past, you'd be like, what's going on here? And you'd stop. And then you get closer and closer to the couch, and eventually be sitting down, and you and your dad would be talking about baseball. That's what happens to me. I hate it.
That's a thing. That's a thing dads do. That's like oh, what's going on over here? And then they stand as if they're not really interested, and then like they wait for enough time to pass to migrate over to the couch, but they do it slowly, so like a T-Rex wouldn't notice. And it's like, oh man, I no, but
like, Dad, just sit down and hang out with me. Just don't. You don't have to be weird about this. Just sit down and also watch what I'm watching. That's the same thing with me. Dude, I played baseball was the first sport I actually played. I did not get to basketball first. I didn't get to freaking soccer first or even like football. My grandmother was like, I like the Yankees. So you like the Yankees.
Yeah.
You're gonna play baseball. Exactly. And I was like, Grandma, I don't exactly fit in here. And they're like, yes, you do. Go play baseball. So for 3 years of my life, from like 8 to 11, I played baseball.
Yeah, me too.
And I was just like, I don't like this. Grandma, let me play basketball. And she was like, no, you can't. You're playing this one. And then eventually I just went and joined basketball. And she was like, whatever. You're not good anyway. And I was like, well, I knew that from the beginning. I knew that from the beginning, Grandma. You just wouldn't admit it.
I actually liked playing basketball a lot, like in elementary school. I think it was probably around the time, like 2003, 2004. I played a lot of it.
I fooled around with basketball when I was little, but I didn't like join the little kid team. I could have joined the little kid team. I didn't join a team.
I didn't join a team. I would play after school because I was really good at like shooting. Like I was like I couldn't dunk it or anything, right? And I wasn't really all that good at like dribbling. You were a
kid. If you're dunking as a kid, that's a nightmare.
They were tall kids, man. Well, you adjust the hoops to be the scale of like the group of people that you're playing with.
Oh no,
you're not,
we suffered. We suffered. We had the 10-foot hoop, and it'd be little ass kids like, "Welp," you throw it up and you can't. You're just not strong enough.
We would do that. We would do that for fun.
Yeah.
We would do that when we were fucking around. But like when we were actually like playing a game, like we would adjust. But like I think. Like I don't think I could do it anymore. Like I used to be really genuinely good at shooting, but like not anymore.
You can get it back.
That's all gone.
It's muscle memory if you can get it back. Because I remember when I played basketball in Vegas with Lily's cousin. He's fucking dope, but I'm fucking old and fat and I can't move the way I used to or shoot. But when I was shooting the basketball, my muscle memory is still there. I still have the same form. I can still shoot a basketball shot, but it's just like. My body doesn't feel the way. Like I have this game plan in my mind about how I'm supposed to move, the ball around, but you just can't do it. It's like probably when you play football, Derek. You still remember the way you set your feet and everything like that, or how you're gonna move or juke, but your body just can't do that anymore. But your mind still has the same game plan. It's like, oh, I would do this.
Yep.
It's horrible. Yeah. It's horrible. You feel like I'm so disgusting. This form, it's so weak.
I don't know. I don't think I'm weaker than I was when I was playing basketball, but I don't know. Maybe I just haven't. I haven't been at it. I don't think I've touched a basketball in like a decade. So like I don't know. Maybe
it's time.
I have one.
Maybe it's time. Maybe I'll join a team.
Sometimes I do dribble practice, but I'm not really. I don't fucking go out and play basketball anymore. Which sucks. There was one right by my house before. There was a basketball court right by my house. I could have just went, but it was in like a fucking school, and I just don't want to be around kids. So I was just like, I don't want to do this. I don't want to be that guy that's there. And then like, just being a grown man like plays around kids. And shit. Yeah, it's never a good look.
Like, hey man, I got sour power straws. You want some?
Yeah, I got some fucking some nerds.
Like the kids come and talk to me, and I'm like,
you have outside of the box, like they're just nerds.
You want some nerds?
That is maniacal. You want some nerds, bro? He pulls it into his pocket. And it doesn't stop. Like it's like it's
a long ass nerds rope. He wants some. And you're like,
no, it's like a magician. Like it's like a magician when he pulls like a sword or something out of a hat, or like I'm pulling like or like the clowns with like the what is it the multicolored handkerchiefs. It's like that, but it's like look at all these nerds. He's pulling it out of the coin pocket. You know that little pocket in your pocket?
The small little pocket?
The little pocket. He's pulling nerds out of there, and he won't stop. It's going on for minutes at a time. It's like it just keeps going. There's more than enough to fill like a gallon. And it's just like,
where'd you get that from?
Nuts.
Don't worry about it. Do you want some, though?
These are nerds pants. They always have nerds in them. Would you like to see?
That's so terrible.
Would you like to see?
That's something
I have to go into the dark to recharge them, though.
You
want to follow me into the dark?
That's some shit that I would. If my kid told me that story, I would never let my kid go back to that school.
You want to follow me into the dark?
Go there.
You want to follow me into the dark so I can recharge the nerds?
And come on. And honestly, he does.
Mister.
Honestly, he does.
Let's go where the light doesn't reach.
He's an innocent person. He's just so adjacent, but he has no bad intentions.
He's never seen anything he's never been exposed to the harsh realities of the world, so he thinks it's okay. It's what people think Michael Jackson is.
It's what we hope Michael Jackson is. It's what we genuinely hope Michael Jackson is. But
I'm still holding on hope, man.
Yeah, keep hoping.
I hope. You know what? This is my thing. I almost hope they're telling the truth. Because if they're lying, if those people are lying, those are genuinely some of the most evil people to ever exist. Like if they're lying about
that's
that.
The only thing that makes it. You got to think about it in this perspective though. That's the only thing that makes it even. If Michael Jackson wasn't famous, then it would be like open and shut. Like why would these people be lying on this dude? He doesn't even have any fucking money. But you have the most famous person in the world. It turns people into evil pieces of shit to be like, oh, if I say this motherfucker touched my kid, I'm getting a fat fucking paycheck.
Yeah, but think of it like this.
That's the problem. Yeah,
but think of it like this, right?
Because it even makes me consider it. I don't think I would do it.
Yeah, but
I would be like, man, if I just said, all I got to do is tell my kid, I'm like, yo, check this out. If you say this, you're gonna get unlimited toys forever. And he's like, holy shit! So all I got to do is say that I've seen his dick. I just gotta see. I saw the King of Pop's dick. That's it.
That's even street cred too. But this idea, like, if you, because like think of it like this. Think of like what they dragged that man through, like legally, like completely destroying like one of the most wholesome, like genuinely great, like most famous artists of all time. Like if they're lying, if they're not telling the truth, that is just evil. That's just like evil. Sure. Like why would you do that?
Money. Dude. That's why. But that's the whole thing. So to me, I will say this. Let's be honest. I would say 70-30. 70% chance that he did some shit, and 30% that it was just some people are lying on him and it's money. I can't. The more I get older, the more time goes on, I'm just like, what are the odds? What are the odds that nothing happened? You know, what are the odds?
Yeah. It's there's an Occam's razor kind of to apply, and it's just like, I mean, it's just fucking weird. Anyway, we don't mean to fucking dig up Michael Jackson's grave for like the 40,000th time.
Poor guy, man.
If we operated on Coco rules, I don't think Michael Jackson will ever die.
Neither will Hitler.
It's Michael Jackson and Hitler and Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Those are the only people left.
Except that two of those people are real, and one of them is,
What?
Yeah.
Hitler?
No.
Hitler's not real.
Was fake?
The fuck?
Don't fucking. Why are you testing my faith right now? You know I'm the most religious person here.
I swear, God impregnated me.
That's fucking awesome.
That is such a. I love that
Jesus
a religion.
Jesus Christ.
I love that a religion was started by like, in all likelihood, just some woman sleeping around and lying about it. Like that is amazing to me. Imagine if your wife came back. It's like, honey, I'm pregnant, and you'd be like, what? And then she goes like, nah, it was God did it, and then you're like, oh well, in that case.
Like, oh, what year? Cool. What year is it? This is BC. Oh, I'm gonna beat you to death. All right, well, this is jackpot.
That's crazy. That's crazy. Anyway,
that is pretty cool, man. That's pretty cool.
Anyway, let's move on. I wish
I could get away with shit like that nowadays. You know what I mean?
What, beating your wife to death, or like?
I mean, both things. Like,
let's move on. Let's move on. The spider that crawls into your mouth while you sleep, Rodin. He goes, "Skull, brothers. My question this time is, what is the best or weirdest nickname you've ever had?" Me and Sweeney answered this last time, but he asked you as well.
The greatest what?
Well, it's a two-sided question. But he says basically, what is the weirdest nickname you've ever had? And then he goes on to say, I used to do landscaping for 3 years, and I was called Radio. Also, a side question for Derek: what did you think of Brothers of Metal? Much love, and may Odin watch over you all. I don't know if you have anything to say about that, because I'm not sure what it is, but
I think it's a movie. I don't. Let me make sure.
Brothers of Metal.
Type that shit in. I'm in no position. I'm all slumped over like a fucking asshole.
Brothers of Metal.
I thought it was
It's a band.
Yeah, I guess it is a band that I am unaware of. So actually, I don't know this band.
I will say, so it's people are asking if it's Viking metal. So I guess it's like
it's definitely Viking metal, because first of all, the guy started off by saying skull, so I already knew this guy's like into Viking metal and power metal and fantasy bullshit. So just by looking at them,
yeah, they're definitely Viking.
Ragnarok is one of their albums, 2017. Yeah, I'll check them out. I'll be honest, like I like Viking stuff, but I feel like people kind of get like, say, one of my favorite bands is Amon Amarth, right? They're Viking metal. But I've been listening to them since like, I don't know, 2003 or some bullshit. And to me, I don't need to have like a variety of, like, say, I'm like, that covers that genre. That's how I feel. I'm like, this Norse mythology, awesome. Now, if I hear Brothers of Metal, they're probably going to sound good to me. But I'm like, the chances that it's going to get on my catalog is so slim, because there's just the problem with everything. There's just too much of everything. Like, how the fuck do you... There is music coming out every day. How the fuck...
Well, every hour. Literally every hour. There's so much music, it's intoxicating. But
that's a lot.
Ridiculous. But just for one genre. You're like...
So you got to pace yourself, bro. You got to go from with your interest. I listen to music a lot, dude.
Bro, I commend like people like Anthony Fantano that are able to just listen to 2 billion albums.
I don't believe he listens to all the things he listens to. If I'm being very real with you, like just like time wise, like he has a child, if I'm not mistaken. He's like married. Like I can't believe him. I can't believe
like
he listens to all that
always
music.
Listening.
Unless he has teams, like, unless he has teams of people that like have similar like values to him musically that he sips some of the music off to and listens to. I don't believe he listens to all that music. Like that's not even me tearing down Anthony.
But that would also that's very plausible, but that would also be that would be a huge expose. Because people would really be angry about that. They'd be really angry about that.
I think he does. I think he's too much of a grinder to not like his output's insane. And I believe it because it is a very passive. It is a very passive medium in comparison to most things. Like you can listen to music and do other things. But I do agree that he probably doesn't listen as intently as he probably should. But like I don't have a doubt that
I don't think music digestion is in. I don't think proper music digestion is passive. I think hearing music is objectively passive. You can just hear noise and you'll be like, oh, I kind of get a beat or I don't get a beat. But I think
you can read a book.
Yeah,
listen to music.
You can, but you're not really listening to the music in depth in the most in depth way.
You're right,
you know?
but I think you could argue that you can know pretty effectively on your first listen whether you're listening intently or not, whether or not something is genuinely great. You know what I mean?
I don't think always. Most of the time.
I think often because music is this like it scratches like a thing that like you people aren't really. Like if a song is catchy and it's damn good and it's just like it feels right, like you're aware of it without even really thinking that much about it.
Music isn't as subjective as we want to make it believe it is. Like it really isn't. Like people are like music is always subjective. It's like it's not as subjective. It's like a science to it, literally. Like you can mathematically put together a song that will sound good. That's why most songs have a 4/4 chord progression because that does usually sound
time
good.
signature.
There you go. And they have similar chord. Like most songs have similar chords. You know, that's what sounds good to most things. That's why there are songs from fucking medieval times that if you put on, it's objectively a bop, and you're like, dang, how is this song sound good to me when this is from a time in the world when I was nowhere near existing.
Bro, blast Green Sleeves.
Yo,
let's go.
Yo, put on that new Bach, and you're like, fuck, I'm bumping to this. But what happens is,
it's all theory, baby. It's all theory, baby.
But when it's music that has lyrics, you can very easily not understand lyrics the first like 4 times into a song, unless you're like really listening. Like you're sitting down and you're like, what is he trying? Like, especially with double entendres and like rap music particularly, you gotta like pay attention to rap music to understand it. Like not like mumble rap, like fucking like
like conscious kind of shit where you're supposed to pay attention.
Music with like real bars where they're not repetitive and you listening to it, you're not gonna get it. I don't think you're gonna just be able to write and do that.
You're right, but that's a secondary attribute to music. You know, music isn't really about a message. It can be, and it maybe
certain
you could argue it maybe should
genres are though. Certain genres of music are.
On the surface level, it's fucking melody and vibration. That's really what it all comes down to. Why everybody likes bass in their music for the most part, no matter what the fuck you're listening to, because it has the most vibration that you can actually even feel and tickle your insides.
It makes the water in your brain move.
If you're at a show, when you feel that, it's a different feeling. When you're feeling that bass hit you,
dude.
It's a fucking different feeling. And then the next after that is melody. Melody is the next thing that's just like that will fucking hook somebody. After that, it's all, now it gets more into the intricacies and blah, blah, blah. But on the surface level, if you just have some fucking good vibrations and if you have some fucking good melody, you're going to make like a shitload of money.
Yeah, because that's the thing, right? Like most music is that, right? Most music is just simple. That's why that whole trap, like bump era music blew up the way it did, right? Because all those songs are just like really simple, like boom, 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 like this,
just fucking
this bumping,
808s, all 808s.
808s bumping through your speaker with a bunch of bass.
Awful, so shit.
No, 808s are great. 808s are great, man. Kanye proved,
I hate all of it. I hate that entire time.
Kanye's proved that 808s are amazing. But
I mean, whatever.
But like,
that's very subjective.
No, it's not. That's the reason why it became so popular and it took the world by storm. But
That's not what anything means.
Well, no,
That's not what that means.
It took the world by storm for a reason. There is some sort of validity in it. There is, unfortunately.
Yeah, but
I hate it.
There's no message in that.
There's no message in that. But the thing is that like.
But that's what I'm talking about. That's like.
Wait, what are we talking
the
about?
message is secondary. The message is largely secondary because music is. I would argue that music isn't even really like message oriented. It's more about like emotion. It's why so many instrumentals.
That's the subjective nature of it. Then it goes into the subjective nature of it. The basic nature of it is just hearing it.
I don't know.
You hear it and you're like, this sounds good. This feels good. It has a good rhythm. I can move my feet to it, or I can bump to it. You know.
What is the foundation of music, guys?
Sound.
The foundation is
gay.
percussion. It's yeah.
Could you imagine gay people made music? That was the gayest contribution to.
They probably did. It was probably cheeks clapping. It was probably cheeks clapping, and they're like, you know what? This actually has some sort of a beat. There's
Let's go fuck men to hear this beat. Let's go.
It's like that fucking. It's like that. Dude, have you guys looked into this fucking dude who like? It's like this Reddit thing where some guy posted. I guess that. Or some woman posted this, not expose, but just like about like an experience that she had where this guy had a playlist that he would fuck to, and he would fuck to the beat of like this specific song, and it's like all over like TikTok and all over Twitter right now. It's like it's a fucking disgusting song, and when you hear it, you're just like you're imagining imagine being degraded to that song, and it's just so sad.
Is it a Teenage Dirtbag?
No, it's fucking. I don't
dirtbag, baby. I
don't know
song.
what the fuck.
That's popular right now. I'd be honest. I actually skipped that song. I didn't know it was a thing, so I was like, the way this sounds like this song has existed a long time ago, but it's popping right now.
It's because everybody's doing the pictures of them when they're teenagers on fucking online.
Yes,
in addition to the fact that song just explodes every couple of years, like in different countries. It's very bizarre. Like there was like I watched this like small, not documentary because it's too short to be, but it's like this like kind of short video about like the history of the song, and it was. Apparently, that song was like #1 in every country except the U.S. And this is the first time that this is the first time that it's been. Man. This is the first time that it's been #1 though. Like because of this, it shot to the top because people were using it in TikToks and stuff like that.
TikTok is insane, bro. TikTok's insane.
TikTok is. I'm convinced TikTok is just a shadow arm of the music industry at this point because like you have shit like I'm sorry, but Olivia Rodrigo sucks. Olivia Rodrigo is a fucking horrifically bad artist.
I haven't really heard.
And the impact that she has had on that genre of music is so radioactive and toxic that I cannot even express it. That song, fucking what is it? It's not even an Olivia Rodrigo song, but it's basically one where it's like Twinkle Twinkle Little Bitch. Have you heard that?
No.
God bless you. God bless you.
That sounds like something. Who's the other chick she did Build a Bitch?
Oh, this ain't Build a Bitch. Yeah, I don't remember that.
Yeah.
I don't remember her.
Like something
Doja
she would
Cat?
do. No. She's like part Asian or something.
The girl that made what you call it?
Bella Porch.
Bella Porch. That sounds like something she would do. It's probably hers.
But that is the style of just like, hey, let's take these nursery rhymes and then steal from Paramore and then pretend like we did a great thing. And it's like, you're not
good for you thing. Yeah.
Good for you is misery business.
I was like that. Yeah.
It is
that's disrespectful how close the song is to misery business.
And look, like I remember when I first heard that.
They had to credit them.
They had to credit. And I remember hearing it and thinking like, I hate the lyrics of this song because they suck horrifically, but this is a good melody. It is catchy, it is hooky, it's exactly I get it. And then I was like, oh yeah, because that's Misery Business, one of the catchiest songs that Paramore's ever fucking created. Shit,
great song.
No shit, but it's just like, oh my god, like some 18-year, like 19-year-old, 20-year-old girl talking about how like I dated a narcissist. Shut the fuck up. You don't have experience. You don't know what the fuck you're doing. I hate love songs by teenagers.
I hate teenagers in general.
I really hate them.
I hate teenagers in general because they're just the worst version of humans. They're at the worst state of a human being because it's just like you're
This guy's a narcissist because he didn't want to come to my parents' fucking baby shower, or whatever the fuck. It's like, what?
This guy's
I want to play Destiny with my boys.
This guy not knowing who he is as a young person, and me assuming that he has to comply to everything I want makes him a narcissist. It's like, no. Who he's finding himself. He might be. You never know.
Well, look, yeah. I mean, but like the thing for me, it's like if I broke up with a woman and she wrote a song like that about me, I would be so thrilled that I got out of that. You know what I mean? Like it's the ultimate like, oh my God. Oh man, that was close. That was close. I would have had to hear this shit.
I didn't use a rubber.
My 70s.
I didn't have to use a rubber 3 times. Oh man, that was close.
God,
I was playing hot stick in there. Jesus Christ, man, woof.
But just I don't know, just like the new era of pop punk aesthetic, like with Machine Gun Kelly trying to co-opt it, and then fucking.
I want to give a shout out to that crazy broad, Demi Lovato.
Gabby Hanna? Oh.
Demi Lovato, who went through a drug bender and all this crazy shit, right? And somehow ended up on the Joe Rogan Experience, which I just wasn't expecting. This was a while ago, but I'm like, what the fuck is she doing here? Anyway, she put out a pop punk record just a little while ago, and it's actually kind of solid. I was not expecting that. I was thinking it was gonna sound like Machine Gun Kelly and shit. I was gonna be like, because that shit's an abomination. Like,
it's
he just
so
sounds
bad.
like he's like asleep. He sounds like he's on fucking fentanyl, and then the band's like trying. The band's trying. They're like, come on. They're playing their ass off, and he's just like falling asleep and shit.
My
They're
dick is bleeding. Yeah, it's bleeding. And it's like, oh my
It's
fucking
bad.
God. It's like if you were in the camp that was like, oh man, I don't like pop punk at all. It's terrible.
Yep. Me.
Listen to that shit.
Me.
Listen to Machine Gun Kelly, and you'll be like, oh, okay. I may not have liked that, but Jesus Christ, this fly, it's still alive.
It's so invasive. It's so invasive.
Oh,
I thought I killed it. I crushed. No, wait, I didn't crush it. Damn, I thought I did. Fuck. All right. Well, I guess I'm gonna have. That's at least it's not roaches. But like,
fuck.
Yeah.
But I hate flies so much. I just like.
Can we all admit that pop punk is the worst? Pop punk was the worst period of time for music as a whole. Can we all agree with that? It was just that worst era of time.
No,
I think dubstep took that.
I think dubstep was worse, and I think like you look at like the 50s was or like not the 40s where
that shit was slapping. Don sugar talking, I'ma kill you. I'm coming at you with the boogaloo.
Yeah, it's the 50s. That's the 1950s. We're doing.
I like that.
There's
Man.
no good songs.
I like that.
I love that. I love that vibe.
That 3/4 swing.
Yes,
the 3/4 swing is not the 40s. The 3/4 swing is the 30s.
It is?
The 30,
Okay.
Like the 40s.
So what was the 40s? Was it like
the 40s? No. Listen. Yeah, it's that. It's like
coming on your belly.
The 40s was all romantic, slow songs because the world was in peril. So like it was just all these sad people singing really slowly to the point where there's basically no melody in it. The 40s were fucking so. I saw this great video by this dude Rumi. I've seen a couple of videos by him, and I think I've met him like once or twice. But like he does this music stuff where he was going through like the top songs of every year all the way from the early 20s to like 2022. I think it was like 1922 to 2022, and the 40s were all just like sad people just like whining. And in the 30s you had that swing and you had that jazz or like duets and stuff, and it was like cool. And then like the 50s it started picking up a little bit with like rockabilly and stuff like that. But like the 40s were just like that was a dire thing.
I like
if you were listening to Morty's,
I like it.
God fucking bless you, my friend.
Because 40s music reminds me of it's very much so like attributed
Wizard
to
of
like
Oz.
Yes. Like
it's
like,
just Wizard of Oz
like
the whole
Disney,
time, and it's like
very Disney-esque Wizard of Oz like.
But it's not even as good as Disney.
It's not as good, but I like it. It's very slow. It's a lot of like maybe like trumpet, drawn out trumpet, and then like someone playing like 3 keys on the piano behind it. I like it. I like it, dude.
I'd rather be I can't even. I don't think I'm even allowed to say the things I would rather be doing than listen to 40 music from the 40s.
I'm dreaming.
Of
yeah, it's just like even some of the
just like
The ones I used
That's how it sounds
to
on the.
know.
It sounded coming from the record player with that fucking brass bullshit. Everything sounded
Yes.
fucking nasally. It's like like it sounded almost like a haunting. I don't even know. It was fucking creepy. It creeped me out.
Like the best I'm not even joking. The guess this is exactly what 40s music sounds like, by the way. You're totally right.
I love it, dude. Y'all are haters. Y'all haters, bro.
I'm falling for a fat whore, and she's screaming at me.
And it's just like, oh my
That's
god.
good. Yeah, that's terrible, you guys.
my money.
You're out of your mind. Fuck you.
That's-
My
fucking
dream. I
No, hold on. Let me, I want you to imagine for a moment because when I think of the best music from that era, right? I think about all right, maybe the Ink Spots.
Wait,
or
Derek's
something.
frozen. Is Derek frozen for you? Derek just froze for me.
I'm good. What?
That was actually he did. That was scary. Keep that in the video. But
Stupid.
Derek, you're fucking flanking right now. You're moving plank time.
he went back to the 40s. That is 40s music. But I think of the best music from that era. I think of the best music from that era, and I think of I don't want to set the world on fire. But that's the 30s.
Oh,
This
really?
fucking fly is pissing me off. That's the 30s. So the 40s was just completely everything good about the 40s came from the 30s. And everything that's bad about the 40s went away in the 50s. And it's just it's just a terrible time. So World War II, I guess. So it's
observation, huh? Interesting observation.
Yeah, it's World War II, so it's not.
I disagree. World War II had its benefits. I don't know where they are, but they had its benefits. I don't know where.
You're crazy. All right,
something
let's
happened.
move on to the last question, I guess. Because what time are we at? We're at 1:56. We're about.
Question.
Let's see. We got a lot to kind of go on. All right.
Bertha in the face. Let's go.
That's 50s Sinatra kind of.
Yeah.
Hugger Derek, the movie theater manager, wrote, and he says, "Hey there, my three dads. What game made you convinced or further solidified your opinion that video games are indeed art? For me, I could think of the Sly Cooper series of PS2 with its cartoon-like cell shading, or the Naruto Ultimate Ninja Storm games, which perfectly recreate the anime almost frame by frame at certain points. Love you, gents." Those are interesting. Those are not the games I would have expected to hear.
I guess on a visual medium, I guess he's talking about mostly.
I mean, I guess definitely Ultimate Ninja Storm does look like the show.
It's beautiful.
Kind of
it's
incredible.
a beautiful game.
I remember that's how I felt about Budokai 3 when I first played it. I was like, this looks like the show. This is fucking crazy.
I thought Budokai
Fighters also.
Fighters is the best. I was gonna say that. That's the best visually, best anime representation of video game. They took the Broly art style and made it a game pretty much in Fighters. And it's just Jesus Christ, this is a beautiful game.
Yeah. I think for me though, I tend to be less focused on visuals because I feel like there's a lot of great looking. I mean, you could argue a lot about the original Super Mario World and how good that game looks still. But I would say the first game that I really thought about this, the first game that I first thought about it was BioShock. I thought about it. I was like, this is kind of beyond what I'm used to from video games. It's kind of beyond what I'm used to from media in general. This is kind of nuts. But I still wasn't convinced exactly until I played Shadow of the Colossus a few years later. And that was I played that and I was like, this is kind of amazing. Whatever the fuck this is. Because it wasn't beat up a bunch of random little guys on your way to the big boss. It wasn't it was lonely. There's no waypoints. There's no HUD elements telling you what to do. And there's just amazing music that accompanies it. It's really lonely and dreary and kind of serene. And I'd never played a game like that before ever. And kind of even still to this day, Death Stranding is probably close, but even Death Stranding is very noisy. It's very it's got a fucking ridiculous story that only sort of makes sense if you really want to be charitable to it. It's not a type of experience that I've had before. And Shadow of the Colossus was just next level on that front. I've never played a game where the boss battles are the point, and also that like every boss is its own level, so like boss design is level design, and then within that you have the level boss in a level, and then like that's designed around it, and then it like they complement each other, and it's just incredible, that game. And it's all boss battles. That's all it is. Mm-hmm. There's no minions, there's no like little fucking mini thing. It's all boss battles, all the heights of like what previous games used to be, and I'm like, this is fucking.
For me, I would say it's Dragon Age Origins. It was the first time I played a video game, and I was like, oh, this is a video game can be an unbelievable experience, because that game is just. I was jaw dropped like halfway through the game. I was like, from the very beginning, when a guy was like, I don't want to be a Grey Warden anymore. He tried to run away, and then homie kills him, and he's like, yeah,
just kills the shit out of him. You little pussy ass bitch. He didn't want to drink the blood.
Yeah. He was like, look, there's no getting out of this, bro. Drink that fucking blood. And then like the fact that like you can choose to sacrifice an enemy, or you can save them by getting someone else pregnant by someone. It's just the way that it integrated everything that was going on in the world to the story and to the experience. I was like, this game is a masterpiece.
Yeah.
Really, really good game. I want to play it again.
I became pretty obsessed with I thought The Legend of Dragoon was fucking gorgeous, and just more than like say like the gameplay, because it was like, you know, like Final Fantasy with like a little bit of turn-based fucking interaction. I would always stare at parts of the map, or like say, you know, it's one of those 4-disc games, and then there would just be places that, you know, it's just like art. You have the little fucking like shitty fucking polygon, you know, character that you're moving through, but like on these beautiful landscapes of art, and I'm like, dude, this is fucking incredible.
It's like Final Fantasy VII is very similar.
Exactly like that. It's exactly like that.
Where it's like you have this fucking ugly cube person walking around on some of the most beautiful things you've ever seen.
Yeah,
the meteor world where Aerith dies. That area of the game is kind of beautiful, man, low key. Like, it's especially like in the 90s. It's like, whoa, this looks really insane. I can't believe I'm here. Or like,
I remember Oddworld struck me in a very similar way. Where Oddworld, I was like, this is so fucking weird and ambient and like off-putting, but kind of relaxing. Like just the sounds that they like. It was all like there was no music in the original Oddworld. I don't think they're even. It was all just ambient kind of beats and like hums of like machines, and I'm like, this is some of the best ambience I think I've ever experienced in anything. I think still to this day it's like really impressive. That was a 4-disc game too, which is nuts because they pre-rendered everything.
Remember that? Remember 4-disc?
Yeah, the original Oddworld Abe's Odyssey, which I believe was.
I didn't know it was 4-disc. I guess it never.
Yeah, hold on. It might not be 4-disc. I know it was multiple. Hold on. Oddworld Abe's Odyssey discs. How many were there?
Remember, games had multiple discs before.
4. Yep. Like, you had to load it, and then you're fucked. If you lost one, you were fucked. Or if you scratched it or something stupid happened, you just couldn't finish the game.
Remember scratching games being like a fear? It's like, fuck, I scratched it. No! This game's useless now. This whole game is useless now.
Yeah, dude. I've had games that couldn't load very well because of scratches. I was very careful with my games, but sometimes shit just happened, man. I don't even know.
Sometimes they got scratches on their own. I would tell my grandma that. She wouldn't believe me. She wouldn't believe me. Like, grandma, it scratched on its own. It wasn't me. And she's like, you lying. You're a liar. And I'm like, yeah, but.
You little pussy-ass liar. Fuck you.
Yeah, but, like, please believe me and buy me more games. Come on. Come on, grandmother.
Oh, wait a minute. Is somebody fucking doing an unofficial remake of Legend of Dragoon? What the fuck? I love people.
Is that real?
Yeah, so I typed in Legend of Dragoon on YouTube, and it says unofficial remake. They're using Unreal 4, and it looks like somebody's remaking it, and I'm like, what? I haven't clicked on the video, but it has 17K, and it was 5 months ago. Mm-hmm. This is a personal project I do in my free time. So you know what's fucked up? This person's probably going to complete it at some point, and as soon as it's done, Blue Point's going to be like, oh, that's cute, take it down. And it's just like, because I remember that's what happened with, there was a Streets of Rage.
Yeah.
Streets of Rage was... Yeah. So like, it was the same thing. Like, oh, that's really cute. All right, yeah, take it down. And I was like, what the fuck,
Get rid of this. Get rid of this right now. Seriously.
Yeah.
Oh, how did we fucking... Wow, we really So anyway, this guy fucks to this song.
Oh.
Oh my god, we got so that was a crazy roller coaster. So anyway, the song that this Reddit post was about, where this girl was talking about this guy that fucked her to this song for years, by the way. It's called C-Bat. So that's how you pronounce it. That's how you spell it. Capital C, lowercase B-A-T, one word, by Hudson Mohawk. And when you hear this fucking song and imagine someone fucking to this beat, it is one of the... It's so sad. They're listening to it now. And you should all be listening to it now as well. Because you're not prepared.
Sounds a little bit like Drop It Like It's Hot.
Oh, don't. Almost. There it is.
Yeah,
there it is.
That's what I'm talking about, bro.
I almost choked, guys.
Imagine enduring that. Imagine you hear this. Imagine being a woman. Imagine being a woman and you hear this. You're being glazed in cum, and this is what's playing. This is what's
trying
playing.
to get at you. Park it like it's hot. Park it like
This-
it's hot.
that
That was a
That
terrible
beat-
song
that-
too, by the way.
No, it's not. Probably like it's hot as fire. You're a madman.
That is
Got my rollie
literally.
on
I'm
my
sorry,
sleeve and I'm pouring
Kingston,
Sean Don.
but that's
And I
literally
got
this
the
song.
Best. Fuck, I forgot the lyrics.
I got
got the
rolling
best
my
what?
boy
'Cause I got it
Sean
going on?
Don. I roll the best because I got it going on. I roll the best
Well, the
weed.
best week
You
I
get
got
it?
going on. Thank you. I
Song
forgot
sucks.
about that.
I got you. I got
That
you.
song's-
That song is
That
fire,
song
bro.
sucks. That song is this song. When I hear that
on.
song, I hear this. I hear Hudson Mohawk.
This is not that bad, honestly. It's just
You're out of your
This is
mind.
a terrible sex song. This is a horrible sex song. But this song
know what
is
this sounds
definitely
like?
not that bad of a song.
You're
It sounds
fucking
like
out of
something
your
that would
fucking.
be-
It sounds like the cats that would fuck outside of our old building on Hilda.
This song is a vibe. It's just a terrible sex song.
What vibe is this? What vibe is this?
This is just like what you call it, like bumping, like riding on the street. This with a lowrider or something like that.
This
Just
is my child is dead and it's my fault vibe.
No, it's
That's
not.
what this is.
You're a
This is
madman. I'm
gonna go
This is a terrible song. This is a song that you
I'm
would
gonna go
only
juice-
play to people to punish them.
No, it's not
Hey,
that
yo,
bad of a song. You're out of
When I go-
pocket.
I'm
I'm
gonna go
not
to
out
the
of
gym.
pocket.
I'm gonna go to the gym and I'm going to fucking work out and put this shit on, bro.
You should blast it. Yeah, blast it.
I'm
And
blasting.
I feel like people, and I feel like people will be like, "What's
That's the
going
Reddit
on?"
song.
Then they'll
Well,
be
they're
like,
No, they won't because they'll know it's the Reddit song.
Oh.
I've seen so many people.
Bitches are
I've
gonna
seen
be all fucking grinding.
a
and shit.
bunch of
Dude,
men
like,
grinding on
if
each
you
other.
play
We're like,
that
"What's
song-
happening? What's happening?"
Hold on. If you play that song in public, people will stop to record you.
I hope so.
They will. I've seen it. I've seen so many videos of people like recording people who have it playing in their apartments, like blasting through their windows in their cars, and it's just like, what the fuck? Everybody
This is
knows
a
this
complete
song.
new phenomenon.
This is
to
a
me. This is a
playlist.
complete new phenomenon.
This is a playlist song. I'm about to put this. I'm finna.
It sounds like a cat's getting an enema, man. Like I hate
It's
it so
really
much.
not that bad, Chris.
You're
it's really
Kingston,
not- it's not
if you
the best
really
song,
believe that,
but it's
if you really
really
believe
not
that, then
that
your
bad.
opinion no longer means anything. You
It's
understand
really
that?
not
you
that
cannot
bad.
say that.
It's Chris.
You're
bugging.
I'm trying to protect you, my friend.
You're bugging.
Don't-
It's not that
you-
bad. It's not a good
you-
song, but it's
You
not
don't
the
have
worst
to
thing.
jump in front of this train. You don't have to jump in front of this train.
Derek
I'm
is
trying to
going
protect
off.
you.
He's vibing.
Yeah, because it's a joke.
That's all. It's just a simple vibe song. It's not the best, but it's not the worst thing ever. There are
I
so
would
many worse
sincerely.
songs.
I'm not exaggerating when I say this. If you play this during anything, it becomes rape.
You're
Like this
out of
song
your
makes
mind.
this song makes anything that happens during it turns it into rape. This is a
crazy.
bad song.
What I like about this is that you can make this entire thing like on a keyboard.
Exactly.
Just like-
Oh,
just-
it's
he's gonna-
literally just some guy going. That guy should be shot. Fuck that guy.
Hudson
Oh,
Mohawk.
oh.
And the piece of shit doesn't even have a mohawk. Fuck him.
Did you see?
Fuck this
Did
guy.
you see the transition where it went into like this little triangle hits?
Yeah.
That's kind of
like,
fire, bro.
I know I've heard that on a fucking keyboard that I got back in 1993. Some shit. My mom got me a fucking keyboard that had all the drum little things, and it had little.
This is very much so. This is very much so like the intro to someone making like a Vapor Twitch song, and they don't know how to do it yet, and they're like, "These are sounds," and they just put it on there, and someone their friend was like, "I see there's a vibe here. Don't release this though." But I see there's a beginning of a vibe.
Song?
I don't know.
How old is this song? Because
new.
like
Definitely not new.
on his fucking YouTube, he just uploaded 2 days ago. What the fuck? So like, did he not have it on before? And he's like, "Oh, this shit's fucking popping off. I put this shit back on." Because that's really strange.
This shit ain't that bad.
But yeah, if you do type that in, if you type in his
You can
name,
literally
like, one of
type
the first
in-
thing that it says meme and Reddit.
You can literally, if you type in Reddit song, this is the first result.
Because the situation, I think, is funny. Not the song. I think it's the situation of getting fucked to a song like that is outrageous. That is not... Like, I don't like having sex to music usually. I usually don't. Sometimes I do.
What the fuck? Really?
I usually don't.
Just complete silence?
Because if I listen to music, I listen to music. I care about what I'm listening to. Like, my playlist is only bars.
You don't have any background. You don't have any background music. No ambiance.
I don't know, man. I was never that guy. Like, got some Marvin Gaye, got some Luther Vandross. I was never that guy.
I don't know why. Why are you doing this to yourself?
Why?
Why are you admitting this?
I don't know. Like, I just don't. And like, girls have brought up like, that's weird that you don't. And I'm like, I just don't listen to music when I have sex. Because
they're
like,
just moved
there's going to be like 200 comments being like, I feel so bad for Lily.
but the thing is this, though.
When you live with other people, though, bro, when you live with other people,
context.
I also think
if people are home and I'm fucking, then I gotta put some shit on. Then I got to, like, obviously.
Just in general, you should just, because it just sets the where it's like the sound is like that. There's louder sounds coming out than the sounds that we be making, which it puts. The lady is less self-conscious of whatever is going on.
In that context,
which makes
obviously, I'm not saying I've never done it before or stuff like that, but in that context, I have to obviously.
But in that context, what would you play this?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I would laugh, dude. There's been times I've said this story before, and I think people don't really understand. But there was one time where what was the name of the movie? Not Kung Fury. What's the name of the movie that we quote all the time? The
Kung Pao.
Kung Pao was on while I was having sex one time, and I laughed so much that I couldn't finish having sex. And that's not.
That's awesome.
I just can't. If something funny is going on, I'd rather laugh than have sex. So I'm like, I gotta go this way. I gotta do this instead. This is funnier.
You know what's wild? This is a true story. I got my first blowjob while Seinfeld was on, and I was kind of like, my attention was split, even though I had seen the episode a million times.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
That's real.
That's madness.
Getting all lapped up with that bass going off and shit. Bam, 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 bam.
I want to coming on someone's face while that exit's going off is crazy.
To the Seinfeld.
Wow! As you blast someone's face.
There's semen on my face, Jerry. I don't know what's going on.
There's semen on my face, Jerry.
Jerry, for some reason, it seems like you want to say the N-word real loud in a public game.
Kramer, you can't be squirting like that, Kramer. Stop squirting.
Stop squirting.
I don't know.
Squirting. Stop squirting, Kramer. What are you doing?
There's too much semen. I don't know what to do with all the semen, though. What do I do with the semen? There's so much semen. What do I do? Just swallow it, Kramer. Swallow the semen.
Are you guys squirting in there?
Are you guys?
We gotta move on. All right, that's it though. I think that's all I got. I can't fucking continue with this.
Semen field.
Semen field.
It's not even
Sperm
clever.
field.
Spermfeld. Yeah, it might as well just be cumfeld, or just like it doesn't even have to make sense.
Sperm cum, and it's just the Seinfeld cast somehow.
Sperm cum.
Oh my God, sperm cum. I gotta. Okay.
That's so,
thank you guys for tuning into the show. If you like what you saw here today,
It's just every episode recreated with just scenes about cum.
Just unnecessary
He's like
tangents about cum in every episode.
What about the cum Nazi and stuff? And he's like, no cum for you and shit.
No cum for you.
No cum for you.
No, man, that's wild. Anyway,
I came here because they have the best cum and he won't give me cum. All right, go ahead.
anyway, yeah. I guess before we end this, just everybody should be aware that Sweeney, if he were to have sex to music, would put on Hudson Mohawk.
I never said that.
Yeah.
Never said that. If I put on music, I'd put on like Aretha Franklin or something like that. But whatever.
Aretha Franklin.
Yeah. Of course.
Like from that. Oh no, never mind. I'm thinking of something else.
Say something stupid about Aretha Franklin. Go ahead. Go ahead. Say something completely wrong.
No, it wasn't Aretha Franklin. I was thinking about Salmonella Fitzgerald from that cartoon.
That?
You don't remember that?
No, I don't.
There was
like Ella Fitzgerald, but like I guess a cartoonified version from like Billy and Mandy or something.
There was. Okay, so this is very hyper specific. I don't think I've brought it up on the show before, but there was this cartoon before Kids Next Door by the same animators.
Yes, called Grim and Evil.
No, that was not them.
Was it?
Grim and Evil? No, No. You're thinking of Hector Concarne and Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy, which had that show Grim and Evil. That was not Kids Next Door. That was a different.
Oh
studio.
no, you're right. Yeah.
Kids Next Door had this show before Kids Next Door that was like a cartoon short about this kid and like a monkey, and he gets a disease from the monkey, and he's like working in like a lab where they have diseases in vials, and one of the diseases is Salmonella Fitzgerald, and he breaks a jar over his head and it has Salmonella Fitzgerald in it, and he pops up and he's scatting with Ella Fitzgerald's head, and it made me laugh so hard as a kid because for some reason I knew who Ella Fitzgerald was as like a 7-year-old. I don't think there was any real reason for that.
Very weird.
But like I thought it was
your parents are older. I knew who she was.
Yeah. So I knew a lot of older singers. But like that cracked me up so hard, and I showed it to friends of mine. They didn't know who Ella Fitzgerald was, so they just didn't understand it. And I never felt more alienated in my life than that moment.
You could have been a MAGA kid. That could have been it if they would have pushed you over to. They could have pushed over to being a MAGA kid.
Different life.
That could have easily been my awakening.
Like awakening, ew.
You could literally have a membership to Hustlers Academy or whatever. You'd be fucking like all with they just tape right now.
No, you don't get it, man. He knows what he's talking about.
Take the fucking great. Take the fucking great. Take the fucking great. Okay, end the show now.
We should just cut it off there. But no, thank you guys for supporting us over at patreon.com/snarktank. If you like what you heard today, consider supporting us over there. $1 a month gets you early access to every episode and access to bonus solo episodes. $5 gets you a question right on the show. $10 gets you access to our Discord server. That's one payment and you're in for good. And $25 gets you named to Sex Leaky right at the end of the show. In the coming weeks, these tiers will update to be new things. But for the sake of consistency, we're going to read them out.
I'll show you my penis.
Yeah, we're going to. Oh yeah, we promised nudes. They'll come. Don't worry.
Never said that. I never agreed to that.
We'll Photoshop them. Don't worry. We'll get them. We'll get your nudes.
Never said that. At all.
We'll get them on Kiwi Farms.
My penis pic. They got it from Photo Bucket all those years ago, and it's on freaking
Photo Bucket. Photo Bucket.
Bro,
Photo Bucket.
Emails. Bro, I get emails from Photo Bucket every other day.
Is it still real? What's on there?
So it goes like this. It says this. Hey, bitch. You have an account here and you need to pay for it now. It's not free anymore. And they keep saying, we're going to delete your shit. I've been getting these emails for like 2 years now.
Oh, that's hot.
And they haven't deleted it. And I'm like, I'm just going to see how long this goes until they finally delete my account.
What's even on here now? Like, what's on here now?
Yeah, what is
If
Photo
you can remember
Bucket?
your login info, bro, it's still there.
What is Photo Bucket?
It was like YouTube before YouTube. Really?
No, what the fuck? No, Photo Bucket was basically Google Drive.
Oh, it's like a bucket for your photos.
That was not the Photo Bucket. I remember watching people getting hurt and shit like that on here. Like, I remember seeing wild shit.
Photo Bucket was just
You're
uploading
insane.
photos.
You're actually you've actually lost your mind.
I definitely watched a video of people getting hurt on Photo Bucket. I swear on my life.
No, you didn't.
I swear on my life. I swear on everything. I like 8th grade me. I
Kingston,
am.
you would have had
100%.
you would have had to put it there.
No, it was someone else had it on there. It was just on there, and I was looking up wild shit, and it was. I swear
You don't
this.
look up wild shit on Photo Bucket.
Because
It's like
I
people
remember
have-
no because I remember this explicitly because of the fact that in our high school YouTube was not all you couldn't go on YouTube, so we would go on Photo Bucket and watch shit. I swear on my life,
Photo Bucket was not a streaming. It was not a video platform. It was not for streaming.
I saw
It was not for
videos on there unless it was
videos.
unless it was a
buffing.
different name. Unless it was a different name
You're
that it had
thinking of
something
something-
else.
You're thinking
That
of a
is-
different. You're thinking of like maybe
Photo Bucket
Vimeo,
was-
or you're thinking of maybe Vimeo or like VidMe or fucking something else. Like Photo Bucket was not something that you could look up wild shit on. If you saw wild shit on Photo Bucket, you would have had to have put it there, or somebody else would have had to send you a link to their drive where they stored something. It's not like it would be like saying like, oh, I watched this crazy thing on Google Drive yesterday. It's like, no,
What?
you put that there.
I didn't put it there. I didn't know how, but I definitely saw some fuckery, and I was just like, oh, this is dope.
It wasn't Photo Bucket. It was something else. It was absolutely
Yeah, I'm
something
trying
else.
to see a list of things that it could have possibly been. That's like YouTube, that has photo in it or something.
There's not much. There weren't many competitions back then.
saw-
I know.
Yeah, and I don't even know.
It was Vimeo.
Yeah.
Was the only other one that I can remember. Anyway, cut me down.
3, 2, 1. I just saw something so accursed. I gotta go to bed after this. Go ahead, man.
Sweeney, quickly. There's a Twitter account called Sweeney's Guide. Go there and scan the code to see a video. Rector Lacerator. Emoticons. Oh no, it's going this way now. They're going this way.
Oh, nice. You
Yeah.
changed
Okay.
it.
Changing it up. That's
At least we know he's alive.
Yeah, there we go. Storm Boys for life, and what he liked. People who like ambrosia act like it's fucking Nutella squirting from the veiny cake of from the veiny cock of Ferrero himself. I have no urethra and I must come. Super supplements. Call her Little Caesars. The way her pussy hot and ready. Jesus
That's a
Christ.
good
Let's
one. That's a good
go.
one.
Is that Lil Wayne or some shit?
I don't know, probably. Elsie Bray's Pyramid Scheme, a.k.a. Drip MH. Nancy Pelosi killing a Palestinian with her massive tits. Obi won't you blow me, a fucking prawn. God, why did I move to this swampland? God, I moved to Florida to save me. Never mind, Sweeney. I realize you have swamp ass. I'm coming for Chris's butt instead. XOXO, Big Papa Shaq. Tevin DeBlack, stop sending me nudes. I need pictures of Spider-Man. Binkus Stinkus, the man uppercutting 9/11 jumpers before they hit the ground.
That's crazy.
Holy shit. Can you imagine? That's what time travelers do for fun. That's
That's
wild.
some
Your
hate.
fucking
That's
hand is
some
exploding,
Haiti
though.
shit. No, that's his power. His arms are infinitely durable. That's all his power is.
But only in that context.
So he went there and he's
Yeah,
just
yeah.
catching people. Just
George Hart R. Martin, George Hart R. Martin, George Hart R. Martin, Mitch McConnell's tortoise shell, Mitch McConnell's turtle shell, Mitch McConnell's turtle shell, Mitch McConnell's tortoise shell. All's the wall. Okay, you said it right. Mega Man X8 guy, and I give up. I'm out of funny. Avi, welcome to Andrew Tate's Kidnapped Women and Little Dick Emporium. Fragile Masculinity sold separately. Voy a rare. Voy a bail. Oh, I see. I see what you're doing.
what?
Voy a reír, voy a bailar, vivir mi vida, la voy a reír. Jesus, fuck you. All right. Cool.
Dude, sounds like
Dancing.
some Catholic shit.
Very cool.
Well, this is
Wage
pretty sure.
Slave 583. Just the F slur. I feel gay. Fuck you. Just a reminder there's a video of young Willem Dafoe swinging his fat cock around. Dead inside. The
Ooh,
Papini
some
brothers. The Papini brothers Emporium of bullet-filled uncles. Skrinkus. Hey guys, I just got a new dog. Can everyone say hello to Zuma for me?
What's going on, Zuma?
What up, Zuma?
What up, Zuma?
My little nigga.
Eat his face in his sleep. Eat it.
Do it,
eat his
boy.
face. Eat his face in his sleep, Zuma. Zuma, eat him. Eat him. Eat him. Zuma,
good
eat
dog.
him. Eat him.
Good dog.
Paraplegics aren't people because people are bipedal. I spent $25 to make a reference about Chris to Chris that Chris read and Chris didn't get. I'm sorry. I've been around a while. There's a lot of references that I've forgotten for sure. I have PPSD. This podcast brought to you by Worski Naptime Pills, guaranteed to lay you the fuck out in 15 seconds. Have a nice day. Tell him Steve Dave.
Nice.
God is missing because Andrew Tate sex trafficked him. Yo, can you imagine selling God into sex slavery? That's fucking
You
wild.
know something horrible is gonna happen to you after that.
Yo, somebody tell Meat Canyon to make that shit, dude.
Yeah.
Hunter, get on it, bro. Quick.
Of course. Sweeney has dropper energy because he would drop those pants and bend over. Merck's 1889, Downey McFrowny, alternate universe Sweeney, where he's the same in every way except he's also a big Reagan supporter.
I hate that so much.
The guy personally responsible for the elder abuse of Joe Biden, the First Church of Keith David, not gay, just stopping the First Church of America to assert dominance. Stop eating during episodes, you nonces. I didn't do that.
That was me.
Yeah, that was.
Yeah,
Sweeney.
get over it.
There's you were having like fat cocks or something in your mouth. What was it, like meatballs or some shit? What was that?
No,
shit?
it was just like rice and chicken. It was something fucking basic.
Oh. Okay.
There was an airsoft event that hosted an ISIS-style beheading of anime pillows on YouTube. Drunken Doulahan, Pre-Roz, Los Homos Hermanos, Blake 896. I knew that would get you. Blake 896, fucking kill me. Ryan Lucchese, Sloshy Scout. Guys, the Snark Tank Trio uploaded a bonus episode to YouTube without telling us. Search the Snark Tank bonus episode. Depraved Booty Warrior, Depraved Mick Booty Warrior, Ba Booty. Blocked by Steve Shives. Oh my God, that's a blast from the past.
Jesus,
I haven't thought about that guy in years. Alaskan
he just makes like
trash.
Star Trek content. No, that's all he
Yeah,
does.
he's shifted dramatically. Alaskan Oilfield Trash, Sue Hulk, Game Controller 25, Danny DeVito's free feet pics. He actually posts them for free. Dom, the locusts are eating out my ass with a giant worm. Lobotomized Jesus. Dom! My God. Lobotomized Jesus and his merry band of figure nuggets. The loathsome cum eater. To infinity and fuck me in my asshole.
So good.
The only
It's
stick
so
I touch
good.
while driving is my penis. Parentheses, I masturbate while driving. Yummy, yummy, yummy. Come inside my tummy. Jackson Absage, Bradley Brave, Hugger Dark, the movie theater manager, Eighth Year In, Chris Gate, my Pajarian hunting ass. We'll unleash our forces. We won't cut them any slack. And of course, as always, rounding out our list, the king
of haphazard.
N word.
of
You
haphazard.
gotta
Hell
calm,
yeah.
you gotta
go.
chill, brethren.
Hey, I abbreviated. I got it. I censored
The
myself.
king
We
of
good.
N words.
We're done. I'm fucking hungry.
I'm starving. A fucking prawn.
Yeah. I gotta go beat my wife. See you guys.
All right.